Can you guys see us? Hello? Hello? We had our mics off. We were talking
shit
no,
about
well,
you.
we can't swear in the first couple minutes. It's okay. We're fine. YouTube didn't hear that. Nobody heard that. You didn't hear that. I talked over that enough. I don't think nobody will notice. It's
Don't
okay.
panic.
Don't panic. Everything's fine.
I'll only get beat a little bit for my
for your mistake. Hi guys. Can you guys see us and whatever? Because we're here. Hello. We did not forget about you guys. No, we didn't forget. Hunter just had to pee.
I was ranting, because typically, you pee beforehand. Cal went and peed, and then I ranted about something, and I ranted so hard that I forgot I also needed to urinate. So at the last moment, I saw the video was set up, and I'm like, oh dear, I have to pee.
I ran out of time. We gotta go. Oh my goodness. I hope that you guys are doing well. We are here to talk about the finale, possibly some other things. Possibly Moana. I don't know. I got all the Moana out of my system, but that has been a hot topic between Hunter and I today. We were talking about Moana too.
We rewatched these episodes.
Yeah. We could not get through the episode rewatch.
We paused for a good half an hour between the first and second episode to just talk about
It was in the middle of episode 7. We were just like, wait a second. We need to talk about Moana, which I made a video on my second channel about that, but
we only have time for our real, true Disney princess, Charlie Morningstar.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean, that's the kind of central. I feel like that was the joke.
Oh yeah, of course.
The joke was
Disney
a
Disney
princess in hell.
Yeah.
Like that's the central, and it's a brilliant joke, and you really can.
The Moana stun lock. Yeah, kinda. I mean, like I said, I made a video about it on my second channel, but it's gonna be fascinating because, okay, some people don't like Frozen 2. Some people thought that Frozen 2 was, bad. I don't know. I thought that Frozen 2 was, okay. It wasn't mid. It was, a little higher than mid.
That's how
it wasn't
I felt.
amazing.
But it was,
it was
very
good.
memorable.
But then you hear what happened behind the scenes with Frozen, and you realize that it was a mess. That it was crazy.
Frozen 2
and
or
it's
the first
Frozen 2.
Oh.
And it's amazing how they got anything out in the very first place. And so, and that was under better circumstances than I think Moana 2 currently has at the moment. So yeah, that was that about that. But we'll talk about the actual show, hopefully in a couple minutes. This is the pre-show. We're waiting for everybody to get in here and whatever.
Everyone's your ushers are taking you to your seat.
Yeah, exactly. Disney, who are two cowards to make Elsa actually gay, says Nina.
I remember
I have a controversial opinion too. I
remember very few things about my time seeing Frozen 2. We saw Frozen 2 together in the theaters. You were sat next to me. I was sat next to a very excitable young girl. We may have seen it opening night.
Yeah,
and this teenage girl, despite this movie being brand new, despite it being opening night, had every single song memorized.
Oh, yeah.
And she sang every single song to Frozen 2 off key. Not loud enough for anyone else to hear it, but loud enough for it to fucking bother me.
I wonder if,
I didn't want to.
Did that have anything to do with maybe why you didn't like the movie? I feel
it's entirely possible that if I rewatched the movie, I'd like it a lot more.
Your wires got crossed,
But there was a scene where Elsa maybe passingly looked at a woman.
Right,
and she was
Marion or something. Her name's Honey Marin.
Don't remember her name. But this girl next to me, who is annoying as fuck the entire movie, I swear again.
It's okay, you're fine. We're already 4 minutes in. We should be okay.
The inhale she...
Please send a super chat.
The terrifying, shock that she thought that because Elsa looked at this one girl, that meant Elsa was gay. And I was like, what? Do people take that seriously? People take the notion of Elsa being gay very seriously.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of people want it to happen. I think, here's my controversial opinion.
A lot of yonic imagery.
Think that they should have just made, if you're gonna remake the movie, they should have just remade the movie but gay. They're not going to, because obviously they want to, have the films do well in other countries where that's a big no-no situation, but Beauty and the Beast would kind of fuck if it was gay. I think everything would fuck a little more if it were gay. Just a little more.
Because the fucking would be gay fucking.
The thing, well, not even that, but it's just fairy tales are already so queer-coded in the sense of two people that can't be together for whatever reason, or are like from two different worlds, right? Like Little Mermaid is already a queer allegory. You can just make it. I think if you should remake something, I don't think that it should be beat for beat the same as the original. I think that you should change something. You know what I mean? Like, people get mad when the remakes aren't the same, but they also get mad when the remakes are the same, because it's like, what is the point? I think that you should just make them not the same.
I think there's no way of remaking a movie that's beloved that doesn't
unless
piss people off.
You change it very drastically.
And in that case, you piss off also a lot of people.
I guess so. I mean, like Cinderella live action was different, and I thought that they did that very well, like how they did the differences.
That's the live action one I haven't seen, I think.
Yeah. It's a little old, I think.
I don't know. Like, I mean, there's like, she has in that second movie, I know she has songs about trying to find herself, you know.
Who, Cinderella?
No, Elsa.
Oh, Elsa.
Songs about trying to find herself, and she travels through a lot of caves, and people have pointed out that that's kind of yonic imagery. Yonic being the opposite of phallic imagery.
Right.
Which, like, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't really expect Disney to give me good gay shit. Like, you know, they're Disney. They don't really care.
No.
They want to have as broadly marketable thing as possible, and making it very gay makes it difficult to market globally, but also in America. Let's be entirely honest with ourselves.
That's what I think should have been done with the Little Mermaid and all the other things. That's the change that they should have made. So
instead, you go for slightly smaller fare that is actually gay, like Hazbin Hotel.
Except for all those episodes that Hunter thought that they weren't gay.
I mean, it's not that it's like I wanted them to be gay. I wasn't like arguing. It was just
I know.
It just wasn't gay enough for me. I'm ravenous.
Oh my god, I did not see Strange World, so I have no thoughts. Head empty.
Lost a lot of money.
That's all I know too. But to get into the actual episode, possibly today, I just love how like everyone is sitting here awkwardly and like, oh, like where are your wings? And like this whole conversation was really funny, but Angel Dust does say a no word, so I'm just gonna have to cover it up. But yeah, it was funny. Like just this little sequence and whatever, and like Husk being because he doesn't want to be here ultimately. He never signed up for this. He's just here because Alistair's here, right?
Nifty's also only here because Alistair's here, but
she
Nifty
likes it now,
Nifty
right?
enjoys it.
But yeah, and so with this scene, I mean, like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's just opening to the episode. But I think it's interesting how they're just all, like, I didn't know that they would tell them straight off the bat, right? But yeah, we have Alistair scheming a little bit here and Charlie crying softly in her room. I feel like that her room looks a bit like a circus tent. Like, it does look like a circus tent, actually, I will say.
Yeah, it's a very dramatic canopy bed.
But yeah, Razzle, one of them's dead now with Razzle and Dazzle. But yeah, I love this scene with Alistair. I thought that it was really good.
Looks like your prototypical sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis.
What does that mean?
Prototypical sleep paralysis, like the originator.
Yeah,
like I guess so.
But yeah, Alistair has some very funny, like just funny dialogue and funny everything, like, in this scene. But anyway, we can have one little asshole. I wouldn't be surprised if Nifty approached Alistair to sell her soul as opposed to the other way around. Yeah, she would.
You know what?
Like,
that
Nifty's
makes
kind
a great
of
point.
The person that would summon a demon, like, summon Satan on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, willingly make a deal. Rip Dazzle? Okay, so you guys are saying it was Dazzle's the one that
Poor Razzle. No Dazzle.
Yeah. But yeah, Alistair's just like, he's serving, you know he lives to serve.
I understand what the word dazzle means, to dazzle someone.
Right.
What does it mean to razzle someone?
I think razzle is the physical appearance, and then dazzle is how it makes you feel.
I see.
Like, because razzle reminds me of rhinestone, right? Or maybe it's supposed to be the other way around? But I feel like razzle is supposed to be the feeling, and dazzle is supposed to be the appearance.
Sure.
The light dazzle, like a costume is dazzling. Okay. That's what I don't know.
The dazzle is caused by the razzle.
Or maybe it's just, like, maybe somebody made it up because it's like, you know, there's a song that's like, give me the old razzle dazzle, right? So it could have just been a rhyme.
Maybe you say we had dazzle, we needed something to rhyme with dazzle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like they just made something up, I don't know. But yeah, Alistair just has so many little, that was my favorite part. Like, that's such a good character.
Alistair,
detail.
despite being a very ancient
Like, look at,
demonic
I literally,
man.
he's half in the frame. Like, there was just so many funny little things in here.
Why is both Charlie and Alistair both different kinds of teenage girls?
I guess so. I mean,
Like,
this is giving a
Charlie's
scene of like, oh, your friend in the teenage, you know, like Hannah Montana's like crying on the bed and her girlfriend is trying to make her feel better or whatever. Like, it kind of does give that. You're a little right. But yeah, I think that, like, this was especially interesting, though. Like, the smile stuff. Yeah, they did die really fast. I'm assuming it's because, Trey, that they just needed someone, like, they needed consequences. And they didn't want to kill off anyone that was actually important. They didn't get a lot of screen time. Like, I know that they've been around, but I don't know. They're kind of more like pets than people. It's kind of just like, oh, the horse died in battle. Like, it wasn't really like that they got characters, right? But yeah, I really liked, like, Alistair's little smile speech. I feel like that, like, okay, I know, but, like, how can you keep doing this and expect people, there's some really funny Wii music playing in my headphones, right? There's, like, the Wii Shop menu right now. How can you keep doing this and expect people not to ship them? Because I don't ship them, right? Like, well, Alistair's asexual, Charlie's with Vaggie, like, I feel like that is kind of a not,
that when you look up, because I was curious, so I looked up the AO3 ships, and it's a lot of Alistair X Reader and Alistair X Charlie.
But I'm just like, there's only so much you can do to prevent.
I see why people like it. I
get it. I mean, you can still, a character can still be asexual and in a relationship. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit more nuanced than that.
I have a slightly sometimes controversial where, like, you can, I think it's okay to dramatically change canon in fanfic if you really want to, you know?
And I'm personally like, I get why people don't like that. Because, like, my first thought is with Ruby, like, making Ilya straight or something. That's where I'm like,
yeah, like, but I understand, like, not, like, finding it tasteful, but I don't think it's a bad thing to do.
Yeah,
like, I feel like taste and morality are different things, you know?
Yeah, like, it's in bad taste or whatever. But I'm like,
yeah,
if you don't want people to ship them, why are you doing these things? Why is he grabbing? He says good girl to her in a manner that does not seem parental. I'm just saying.
You know...
Someone says that they find it more unsettling than hot, which I
think
understand.
Some people find unsettling hot.
Yeah,
so that's what it is.
That's the problem. And it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't come off it doesn't come off parental. Even when it's like, oh, you could call me dad, like that did not, I don't know.
I don't think it works.
Because it's unsettling that it's not parental, because it's not actual parental affection, right?
Similarly, like, Alistair is just... I don't know, he's the type, like, he's fur bait, like, I see those ears.
Yeah.
And he's also, like, Tumblr sexy man.
But it's definitely not, like, it's not something he's trying to do in canon, but I'm like, why are they giving him all of this, like, I don't know what they're doing, like, you know what I mean? But yeah,
He for a man who doesn't
it's never gonna happen in the show.
For a man who doesn't fuck, he fucks a lot, you know?
Yeah, like there's just a lot of body language things, but anyway, I did like this, I know something you don't know. Like, just the deal. This whole scene is just great because Alistair's, like, in the background sometimes just making, like, the most unhinged faces that you can see. So let's talk about, I guess, theorizing right now because we're in a good position, I think, to discuss. I think that there's also something in this, not this episode, it's next episode, where Nifty makes him a crown of, like, roaches, right? But, like, it's still a crown. You know what I mean? And so I kind of wonder if it's getting her, not her dethroned per se, but, like, that he wants, that's a favor he wants. He wants to be the king of hell. And that's what they're gonna lean into in terms of season 2. Because, like, what is this? What is he doing?
I don't know. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of touching.
He's emotionally manipulating her? Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Oh,
I
she's
definitely
being
think
manipulated,
that you're right.
But like,
I'm like, but what is it? This is like entangled, like, there's a purpose for Mother Gothel to touch the hair because that's what she actually cares about,
I'm sure
right?
we can find some Mother Gothel
No, that's creepy!
I never said it wasn't creepy. I never said this wasn't creepy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm just saying that you could find it.
I don't want to think about what we could find. The Disney fanfiction fandom freaks me out.
Really?
Kinda, because I can't imagine writing like Phoebus X Quasimodo explicit, like, you know, and then in the captions it's like, I don't even know if I can say this, hopefully it's okay, like in the captions it's like, this reader has a foot fetish, and like just people putting their weird fetishes on like Disney characters. Anyway, that was a whole other conversation we don't need to talk about. But like, when Mother Gothel touches Rapunzel's hair, it's because they only care about the hair. So what is he doing?
Maybe Quasimodo saw Esmeralda's feet and was like, oh man.
No! So, like, why
I'm gonna leave the Catholic Church over
why
this.
is he doing this, is what I wonder. Like, what is the purpose of this animation? I don't understand what he's trying to do. Like, is it just for fake affection? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that.
Because, like, again, with Rapunzel, it's like, oh, I care about the hair because the hair is what has the magic. Yeah. But, like, what is this? I don't understand what this is supposed to be. I mean, this is, yeah, like, the hug, I get it. But, yes, he does mention the pulling the strings. We will talk about that. But I think that, yeah, the favor of my choosing where you harm no one, I kind of wonder if it is going to be that he wants to be the king of hell. Yeah. You know? And so I kind of, that's what I'm getting, especially with the crown symbolism.
It's definitely something that's going to be an issue in season 2.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Her hair does look especially big and fluffy. I don't want to touch it. Okay, chat. Listen to Rosie, she's too young for him. I mean, but that's kind of like, what does that mean? Because they're dead. And like, when was Charlie born? And it's been 10,000 years since hell originated. I don't know. There's just a lot of like, I think that Rosie was probably just kidding around. Because it's like, well, what is the age system here? Is it how long you've been dead? But then Charlie didn't die, she was born. I don't know. Anyway, so I like this.
I don't know.
I liked this. Hunter, I feel like, was thinking about something entirely unrelated. I just saw the look in your eyes.
You are absolutely
You did not hear
correct.
anything that I just said right
You are absolutely correct. And you know what I was thinking about?
What?
Really questionable Disney ships that would absolutely have... Because, like, Disney...
We don't talk about this.
Disney shipped Pocahontas with that white Mel Gibson-ass looking guy.
Right. Oh, you mean in the canon?
Or just, like but I feel like people could then take that and make it worse, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I guess
Disney gave them the raw materials. I already know that, like, Elsa and Anna are a thing.
Canon, 220 years old. Maybe it's the age you present? No mention of Charlie having hooves.
She gets hooves later, doesn't she? When she goes like full demon, she gets hooves.
Yeah, I guess she does have hooves.
Oh.
I don't know, guys. I just thought that they were her shoes
I kind of thought
something.
that because later when she turns full demon, she looked like she had hooves.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
Otherwise, I thought they were just shoes.
But yeah, I didn't realize that she had hooves. I just thought that they were like stiletto, but
because imagine
shoes.
like every once in a while you sleep with someone and they kind of kick you in your sleep. Imagine if you had hooves and you were kicking
I guess so. This is like totally unrelated, but okay, so you're Arnold for a second, all right? So when I'm sleeping, I remember distinctly, okay, so imagine me and I'm like, I don't know, like just whatever, like sleeping. I like hit Arnold in his sleep like that when I was asleep. Like I was asleep and he was asleep. I guess in some sort of like twisted effort to get him to stop snoring. Like when I'm asleep, all this like
we'll throw hands.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm violent. I'll hit people. You know, like I mean, not without remorse, because I have remorse when I wake up.
Cal hits her boyfriend in bed.
But like, yeah, like while I'm asleep, I don't have any remorse. I just do it because it's like loud noise. I don't know. We just go into our primal instincts, I guess, when we're sleeping and just like be the fuck quiet. Anyway, so yeah, violence.
So imagine if you had hooved feet, then Arnold would be in real shit.
I feel like Charlie would be a peaceful sort of sleeper, though. Like I hope that
she's too high energy not to like roll around a lot in bed,
maybe.
I imagine.
But I also, what was going on?
The man is fruity. Like, sexual orientation aside, the man is fruity.
I guess she's still, oh wait, well maybe those are her shoes and you guys are saying that in the bed scene she has her hooves, but it's okay. We know that they exist. I'm okay with that. We don't need to go look for it. This is the most circus sound music playing right now. What is this stream? This is the most unhinged stream that we've done. But yeah, Cannibal Town. Yeah, like, okay, this is a bit more like just playing into the I'm replacing your dad thing, I guess, but I'm just like, he has such, like, I don't know, he just has such a weird, like, a little cheek pinch and all the weird stuff he does. Again, it's not, like, canon at all or anything like that, it's just funny. It's just funny how they're like, we're gonna give him, we want this ship to be shut down, and so we did all these things to make sure people know that Charlie's with Vaggie and that'll never change, and they're never gonna have a breakup where she rebounds on Alistair, and then they have Alistair doing the most physically creepy, like the most physically unhinged dialogue.
Well, then who does Vaggie rebound with?
No one.
Cannibal
Cherry
lady?
Bomb? Cherry
Maybe.
Bomb?
I could see her getting. I feel
Carmilla? I don't know if Carmilla's too old. I don't.
Well, fucking Alistair's too old, so that's out the window.
Yeah, I guess so.
Also, oh, do you mean someone is like, oh, it's a little morally compromised to sleep with someone way younger than you. They're in hell.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
They're morally compromised. This is how they got here.
I love this. Like, what is
Frank?
Like, what is this?
That's...
Like, no, the dialogue. Just how they're like, oh, they're saying crazy stuff all the time. Like, I just thought that was funny. But I like Vaggie's dialogue here. Like, I can't guarantee you guys are safe, but then obviously at the end we see that they're all still here. That was like a nice little B plot.
That is
sort
amusing
of situation.
because like there really are people in my life where like, yeah, I didn't know they were being honest. I thought they were just screwing with me.
What about what?
Like someone will tell me something, and they're like, they're the type of person to just be weird and say strange things. And so later I'll find out that what they were saying was true.
Oh,
and I just didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
That's a real characteristic that I quite enjoy. Also, that little egg's adorable, and Sir Pentious is adorable.
I know, I love just like
they're such baby
like
girls.
The C plot, I guess, is that.
No, little frowny face. Oh my god, that's like a
I didn't notice
that's
that
like a
at
shocked
all.
Pikachu. That's like a sad Pentious.
Oh my god. But yeah, I guess like the C plot is just the fact that they decide to stay here, but we don't really like get any of that. I think that this is probably okay. At this point, I don't care. I'm like, if you guys see a swear word, send us a super chat so we can make money off this stream after if it gets limited ads. But I'll do my best to try to cover them up. But yeah, I just like, Alistair seems increasingly maybe a little annoyed by that. Like, he's smiling, but it's not his big usual smile. I do love, I love the design of the cannibal people.
Yeah.
I love, hold on. Damn, you guys got that sneeze for free, okay? Another reason why you guys need to...
Please, God, don't tell me that's a thing.
Yeah, it is. And female streamers try to, like, mute so they don't sneeze in the mic.
Because people enjoy that?
Because people do weird things, but I can't, I couldn't get that far.
Is it because you kind of involuntarily jerk when you sneeze?
I don't know. I think it is just the sneezing. I think it's just the sound.
Some people are turned
like, I
on
think
by
it's
sneezing.
Anyway. I think it's the sound. I'm so sorry that we've talked about so many things 20 minutes into this.
I feel like I'm a fairly sex positive person, but then someone will say something like, I find sneezes sexy.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That's kind of, I mean, like, I just,
hang my body
you can
up to
do
dry.
whatever you want. I just don't want to know about it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
I just
weird
don't want
to
to know.
project.
It's
weird
none
to
of my
project
business,
that on,
I guess.
Like, you know, it's like how Margot Robbie didn't read. There's a scene in Barbie where she's walking around and there's a lot of attention paid to her feet.
Right.
She did not know about foot people.
No. But I'm sure that was just because of the arches, right? Like the idea that the dolls
her arches
are.
dropped.
Yeah.
So now there's just a lot of people who really enjoyed that movie because they got to stare at Margot Robbie's feet, and poor Margot Robbie didn't know that that was a thing. Until
people
it happened.
Are putting, I think it's the laughing one, or it's the like thought face where they're like where they're thinking. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like I don't know. Like there's like this subreddit that's like React Girls Gone Wild or something, and like I am on the subreddit for some reason because
Gone Wild.
When
have you ever gone wild?
Hold on. So I don't know if you guys remember. So like there was one stream where I showed the fact that I can like. Can you guys see this or no?
Oh.
Hold on.
Well, you're wearing dark pants, so
yeah, they probably can't tell.
You
but
can like cross your legs
cross
twice.
my legs twice.
And people, oh God, please don't tell me people are into people who can cross their legs twice.
It was because I was wearing shorts, and I guess people wanted to see, like, my thighs. They were like, Calxiyn's actually thick or something. Like, it had nothing to do with the feet. It was just the fact that, like, I had backed up out of the chair. Anyway,
plenty of photos
so I can cross my legs twice if anybody's
down.
wondering for whatever reason. But yeah, like, you didn't need to, like, go through the stream to find that. Like, I have pictures in bathing suits on Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? And so somebody clipped the stream, and I'm like, why did you clip the stream? And somebody posted it on the subreddit, and I was like, what the heck?
You know, I'm sad that I've never been on any of
I'm
those.
learning so much about the internet today. Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't know what's, like, we're just unhinged today. It's the last 2 episodes. We just need to get it out of our system.
I like the butcher's human parts.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Regrettably, I don't think there's a great audience for anxious transgender women.
I mean, I don't know, maybe.
You know what? I take that back. There probably is.
But I like all the Cannibal Town designs.
I love how, like, we take this town and it looks like that. What's that place in Disney World?
Main Street USA?
Yeah, where it's supposed to be this idealized version of an old town in America. And I like how they take that, this very, like, wholesome, imagined past, like, Hello Dolly ass, everything's great, and they make it full of cannibals.
This Roman Torchwick looking motherfucker.
That's really funny.
Oh my God.
It's just taking something very wholesome and then making it fucked up.
What I'm wondering about, though, is, like, are these children, like...
Did those
like,
children
reproduce children? Like, as in, like, did 2 demons, like, have a child?
Yeah.
Or are they, like, kids that died? Which is very fucked up if the implication is that kids can go to hell. Which, like, I know kids are terrible people sometimes, but that's because they're kids. They should get a pass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a child and you're 6 years old and, like, I don't know, you call your older sibling a slur or something and then you die, like, I hope that kid wouldn't go to hell, no matter how bad the thing that they said was.
Do slurs get you? Do slurs get you?
Well, I mean, it may be. I think that swear words are generally, like, taking the Lord's name in vain. There's kind of a footnote of, like, cussing language always being taking the Lord's name in vain in general. So I think that, like, you know, whatever. And so I just wonder, like...
Because we've sworn a lot during this.
Oh, yeah. So right, but I'm saying a word that is derogatory to somebody else, right? Which is something that you're not supposed to, because that's not nice. So I think it would also be under, like, be nice to people, whatever the, you know, whatever the 10 Commandments are, whichever the ones, like,
know if
be
there's
nice.
I don't think there's actually there's a commandment.
Isn't there, like, being, like, don't be rude?
Well,
there's like,
there's
don't
the golden
covet thy
rule.
Neighbor, and there's, like, what thy neighbor has. So I think it's also...
No,
don't be bad. I don't know.
No, so there's the thing of, like, thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain.
Right.
But that's it.
Guys, what are the 10 Commandments?
But there's also the thing where it's like treat others how they would want them to treat yourself.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So maybe it's
maybe it's the
But
anyway.
I'm perfectly okay with people swearing at me. I understand the necessity.
No. But I mean in a derogatory bad word. So I'm just saying, like, if you did something bad as a kid and then you died, do you go to hell? Sinners cannot reproduce, only the hellborns. Well, I guess then it would be that there are hellborns in Cannibal Town.
Maybe
or these are just really short adults.
They're
like,
just people with dwarfism who killed a lot of people, you know?
Maybe, I guess, but, like, some of them are like, oh, taking balloons like a kid at a fair. So I don't know.
Maybe you might just end up in hell and you end up being kind of like, I don't know. You can, like, your corporeal form transform.
Honor thy mother, yeah, I know that one. I remember that one. But
well,
yeah, I just wonder about,
mom.
Like, okay, so if you swore at your parents, and that's not honoring your parents, would you go to hell?
Of all the 10 Commandments, I think honor your father and your mother is the one I take most, like, aggrievement with. Which
is hilarious, because your parents are, like, the best, I mean, parents.
They're very, like,
ever.
No, I have very good relationship with my parents, but, like, you know, they earned my respect.
Oh, yeah.
Some motherfuckers out there, they don't deserve it.
I'm sure there's some sort of clause in there that's like, only if they deserve it, like.
But there's none that's like, hey, don't be a shit to your kids, you know?
Yeah,
it's like, it's reverence to the elderly. and some of the elderly are
Those
assholes.
cherry-pick parts of the Bible.
Some elderly people deserve to be kicked
Nifty
upstairs.
isn't a child. Yeah, you guys are right. But, like, I don't know. For some reason, Nifty just, like, looks different. Like, whereas, like, the giant bow in the dress and stuff. Oh, wait.
Some people have just itty-bitty evil energy, so I feel like
you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this to me looks like an actual child versus Nifty. And, like, whoever's grabbing the balloon back there, I don't know. It's just an interesting question, right? Like, are there kids? Are they hellborn? Are they, what would really be fucked up is if they were some sort of robot that people buy because they're lonely and they want kids, but they can't have them.
I will say that, like, a lot of these children, they're in Cannibal Town, so presumably they're cannibals. And presumably
I mean,
that
maybe
meant
their
they were...
parents are just cannibal. What we need is a spin-off show about a kid whose the parents are cannibals, but then the kid is like a vegan or something and navigating... Maybe this is actually the plot of one of those vampire movies now that I think about it. The idea that the parents are vampires, but the kids don't want to drink blood.
Wasn't that the premise of that?
Hotel Transylvania?
I was gonna say that, like, first Kiss show about the gay vampire hunter and the vampire that fall in love, and the vampire girl takes pills instead of being a vampire.
Oh, right! The
first
gay
Kiss?
one
Yeah,
that we watched that one time.
And,
right,
that got canceled and people got upset about.
Okay, yeah, I forgot.
You turned my father into a snake.
I totally forgot.
Remember
yeah.
that? That was crazy.
So
anyway.
I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Also, like, is it that the sinners can't reproduce or they're not allowed? Because that would be really sus.
Are you all Barbie? I mean, you must not be Barbie because, like, look at Angel Dust.
Yeah.
Are you
I
just
just wonder if it's, like, are they not allowed as in, like, you know?
Because you'd be creating life in hell, and then your child would be born in hell, and it's like, well, they didn't.
But there are hell-born, right?
That's
like
true.
in Hell of a Boss. Okay, so here's my not problem, because last time people got on my ass. My problem with this show is that, like, nothing is ever explained or addressed whatsoever. And if you do ask a question, people are like, well, 3 years ago in a live stream that was only for Vizzy Pop Patreon members that is now private and only available on Daily Motion, illegally translated into French, Vizzy Pop said that Alistair is actually part deer, part, elephant or something like that. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to know that? I don't know.
I don't know what deer is in French.
Right? And so I'm just like, well, what do you mean? I don't understand. Anyway, so I just wish that I knew, like, I wish I knew anything. And then, yeah, like, the thing is that Alistair says, like, you're like the daughter I wish I had spawned or something. Or I love you like the child I had spawned. So he doesn't say born, he says spawned. And so I wonder, like...
Or was it you, like, my own spawn?
No, it was spawned.
Oh.
Right? Like, I wish I had spawned you as opposed to birth you? I don't know. Right?
That is a really weird way.
Is Lucifer, like, male seahorses? And Lucifer birthed Charlie? Because, like, not even that. I mean, yeah, he's a shapeshifter. He does turn into a snake, but... Yeah, like, I'm just wondering, guys, because chat says, Grim Witch Bun says, well, did Lilith have Charlie? She was human, and I'm like... Did she have Charlie? What if it was Lucifer? How can sinners create new life if they're dead? I don't know. Why are there hellborns to begin with? Anyway, I want to know. I just have questions. There's so much world building to be done. Yeah, I know. I guess I just wish, I don't think that this is the best way to do something, but I want, like, Ruby World of Remnant, but for this.
Ruby World of Remnant was not
and I don't know. I don't think it was. Absolutely not. But, like, I kind of want it. Like, I want a lore book for this show. Like, I just want lore. I know that it would take too much time in the actual show because it would be filler and kind of dumb. But, like,
Yeah.
I want, like, a lore book about all the circles of hell and who lives there and how any of this shit works and do they have currency?
But then you
Is there a bank account?
Then you run into the issue of if you get too like
specific, and then
you end up being J.K. Rowling saying that wizards used to operate their own shit instead of using toilets.
But I kind of like that stuff. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, I hate her. She's a terrible person.
She literally could have said magical chamber pots.
Right. That's not the part I like. I like the specifics.
But you only learn how to operate in like 7th grade, which meaning you couldn't get rid of
maybe
your
your
own
parent.
poop.
You would call your parents. It's okay.
That's weird. I don't want to have to imagine having to call your mom every time you pee, and you
But
pee
you do sometimes.
fucking constantly.
Right? Like, what? This is so not what we should be talking about. Do you remember, like, your parents eventually stopped wiping you at some point?
Yeah, when I became potty trained.
Like, how long did it take?
I genuinely do not remember them. So it was
probably before.
I was 4 at least, because like I don't remember it at all. So.
Anyway.
Do you remember your mother?
No. I
Hunter,
remember
I was 10 years old when my mother. What conversation are we having?
I'm saying
here?
like kids, even after they're potties trained, still ask their parents for like help or whatever. So like the one thing is.
Yeah, but you're like 16 when you learn to operate.
I thought you said 7th, like 7. I thought you said when you are 7.
No, you're like 16, 17 when you learn to
okay, well that's different.
You said, like it, sorry, I must not have pronounced it very well, but like no, you.
You mean like 6th form, as in like the British university years, then, like 7th form or whatever it is. Is that what you mean?
Like sorry, I meant 7th year.
I thought you meant
in Hogwarts
when you are 7
when
years
you're like 16. Yeah.
Okay, that's a little different.
Yeah.
That's not what I thought you were saying. I was like, oh, but they're still 7. 7 years old is like grade 1, Hunter. Some kids are still getting help from their parents or whatever at grade 1.
No, but like you're a teenager and you're like, Mom, help.
But okay, the poop aside though, I like details like that. For some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Like, I kind of like, okay, maybe this is just too much, but like, yeah, I kind of want to know what people in Remnant do in terms of their period. Like, these girls have been traveling the world.
This tampon is also a gun.
Like, I'm just saying, like, they have been traveling the world for a long time, right?
This
really
show is
long
predominantly written by men.
I know, but I'm just, not that I want a period episode of Ruby, but just like in the lore book, like I just want a lore section on something. I don't know, like what is the preferred huntsman period product? I'm assuming it would be menstrual cups because that makes the most sense to me.
I feel like my joke about the tampon also being a gun was not appreciated.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun. I was just thinking.
No, Hunter, this is serious business. We need to figure out how they... I feel like Jean would carry a lot of tampons.
Oh, no, I agree with you. Like, I feel like Jean is, like has all that stuff in his locker for anyone that may need it. You know what I mean?
Because I feel like Jean was...
Tampon guns do not pass the Bechdel test? What do you mean?
Because remember, Jean had, like, 6 sisters, right?
Right, exactly. So Jean knows.
So he's pretty familiar with, like,
exactly.
So I'm just saying... He probably was like, oh...
That if to fund Ruby Volume 10, I think that Eddie Rivas should get free reign to write a Ruby lore book about literally, like, anything that you can think of.
The brands of tampon.
Not just the tampon, but just everything in general.
I think that...
And that's how we fund Volume 10.
I think how we fund Ruby is we get like a Tampax X Ruby collab.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't just need to be the tampons. I just mean anything. Like just, I don't know. Like where do normal people go to school? Right? Like we have lawyers and accountants and stuff. But we never see that. Like does Beacon have a branch where it's like normal people, like My Hero Academia? Like we just don't know. We don't know anything.
You know what my issue?
Is there a school in hell? Do we have schools here? You know, for people that die. Like, let's say that, fine, the kids don't die because that's kind of fucked up or whatever. Like, the kids don't go to hell. But, like, say that you're 18, right? And you were, like, studying something and then you die. Like, don't you want to continue your education? Like, imagine joining
If I was in hell, what am I gonna do? Go to school?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know. Like... There's performing and there's entertainment. You gotta train those people somehow. You know, like Vox's TV show, there's need actors, you need cameramen, so that would be acting school and tech school. Like, they have clothes, so clearly.
I imagine everyone in the film industry goes to hell.
Right, but I'm saying that you would have to teach people, because in the exterminations, what if your cameraman dies? Right? It's like retiring. You need young people to fill those roles. So I'm just like, there's stuff in here where I'm like, well, okay, clearly there's an economy. And money, oh my god, money is being exchanged because Charlie gives them a bunch of money. But how do you get money? When you get to hell, do you get like a welcome package
is there a
of
formal
money?
Economy?
Like,
there must be, because people have jobs.
Yeah, like people have jobs. So like, is it like in the olden days when you just walked into somewhere and asked for work, or is there like I don't know, the internet? Is there like
Indeed is already hell, so I think they would have Indeed in hell.
How, you know, you can apply for unemployment and the Canadian Job Bank will like whatever. Like, I just want to know these things. I don't know why. Like, I just want to know.
You want to know what unemployment insurance there is?
Yeah, in hell. Like, I want to know. So you bring old, tall, and armless to me? Oh my god. But yeah, I love the little conversations. It seems like it's also like not just like cannibal stuff. It's like fashion.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a boutique,
I do
right?
like how they look, how they have like less texture and less details on their design. They're just very pointy and no eyes. No, I mean, they have eyes, but no like pupils.
And again, this was funny. Like class.
Ace in the hole. What now?
So, okay, so here's what I'm also wondering, right? So, I heard something somewhere that Alistair is asexual, and that is canon. But Alistair as a character, like, doesn't understand the idea of being asexual, and he just thinks that he hasn't found the right person yet.
Or is the joke that, like, a hole being, referring to penetrative sex?
I don't think so. I think that it's just ace in a hole as a golf reference.
Is it golf?
Yeah, isn't it?
I thought it was like a poker reference.
Oh, it might be a poker.
If there's something I know less about than golf, it's probably poker.
But yeah, like, I don't... Anyway, so, regardless of what it is, I'm just like, do you guys think that that's ever gonna come up in any capacity, or do you think that that's just, like, kind of a behind-the-scenes lore situation? Because I'm kind of wondering, like, are they gonna do a, like, Alistair does want to find that right person, and that's what the deal, not necessarily with Charlie, but maybe some other deal he's made, and then it's like, but Alistair, you're fine, just the way you are, like, because I know that that sounds cheesy for the show, but this show has had other cheesy things. Like, there's a video of You Didn't Know going around on Twitter right now, and it's getting, like, OP is getting their ass beat in the quote tweets because people are like, this would have slapped if it was My Little Pony, right? And so I saw somebody say that, you know, they didn't imagine that the show was gonna be so optimistic, like, compared to Hell of a Boss, because Hell of a Boss has a very pessimistic attitude a lot of the time. And so I don't know if you guys mean, like, or if you guys think that that's too, like, corny or something. But I think it's so corny that they would do it, because then Alistair would be like, oh, like, for the, you know, he would be annoyed at it, but also, I don't know. Because, like, the idea for the plot line I'm thinking of is that he's like, yeah, like, help me find the right person. And then it's like, but you don't need to find the right person because, like, you're perfect as you are. And that kind of, like, Alistair's kind of annoyed by, like, the sappy, like, sentiment of it, but, like, coming to accept himself, I don't know. I just wonder that, because, like, if you don't think that you've found the right person yet, like, isn't then the natural progression to try to find that person? Because they could have just said that he knows he's asexual, you know what I mean? So it was just a weird thing, not weird, like, wrong or, like, problematic or something, but it's just, like, that's a very specific thing to say, that he just thinks that, like, his one true love is, like, out there somewhere, you know?
I don't know.
Thoughts?
I'm not gonna lie, I was zoning out thinking
You were
about the
zoning out
thing.
again?
I'm really bad. I don't know.
What are you thinking about? Can you not talk about it on the street? You probably shouldn't.
No, I can. I'm thinking about Chapel Roan again.
Oh, the singer?
Yeah.
Your mind is wandering. Ace in the hole means a trick up your sleeve. Yeah. Yeah, so it's, like, supposed to be, like, clever, I think. Right? Okay, and then you guys are just talking about the Hellborns again. Nobody's mentioning Alistair. quite yet. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if that would be an interesting plot line. Like, the idea of, like, that Alistair just doesn't know. Like, that he doesn't know this about himself, and so it's, like, an acceptance.
I don't know if it's me, but I feel I'm kind of bored with, like, personally, other people feel differently, but, like, narratives of self-discovery, I feel kind of about, you know?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know,
Or I feel like the self-discovery part, I don't know, I feel like the interesting stuff happens after that, you know?
I can't imagine it being relevant. I worry about Alistair's evilness. They may accidentally make asexuality look bad if they put too much focus on it. I mean, I don't think so, though, just in the context of, like, we know that everybody is in hell.
Yeah.
And they're all bad. So I understand what you're saying, C-Mills. I can't see that. It would be a problem if we're outside of our intended audience, I guess. If, like, someone wrote, like, an article of, like, the bad guy of Hazbin Hotel is asexual. But I think that, like, people that actually watch the show understand that they're all in hell, and so they're all bad, and their sexualities have no connection to their badness. It's just...
And I feel like people aren't saying that about Angel Dust.
No.
You know?
Yeah. Or, like, Valentino.
Yeah?
Like, no one's like, oh, Valentino makes gay men look bad. You know what I mean? He's just bad, right? I don't think Alistair is the type to look for someone. He might think that he hasn't met the right person, but he's never gonna try to find it. Yeah, I can see that.
He seems more interested in his own goals.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a career-oriented gal.
Yeah. And, like, I agree. It's not like that I want them to do that or not. I'm just thinking even with, like, the thing he said about, you know, I love you like the child I spot. Like, I don't think he actually meant any of that.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. Part of me kind of wonders, like, does Alistair want some sort of found family thing? Because he has some interesting dialogue in the finale that I guess we'll talk about. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's really going on with him at all. Yes, Vivi did confirm this. It's just that, like, we need it to be in the show because, or else no one will know anything. But yeah, I did like the introduction of Rosie. I really enjoyed Rosie's personality. She definitely felt like an old school, like, Broadway character.
Yeah. I will say that, like, I feel like a criticism I get of a lot of Vizzy Pop's design is that they're kind of over-designed.
Yeah.
It's very visually busy. What I like about the cannibals is they're kind of stripped back. You know, they're kind of a more minimalistic design. I enjoy that. And
they kind of look like dolls.
Yeah.
Again, which I think, yeah, like, I just think that this works for them because there's something inhuman about them, but they are cannibal. This was a great joke. I thought this was hilarious. The pinky fingers or whatever, because, like, I don't know if you guys know, pinky fingers are like a cookie. So I just thought that it was really funny.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're like the cookies that are like, they're like this, but then they have the chocolate, then they have the cookie inside.
Yes, I see. That's very cute.
But yeah, I thought it was... yeah, I don't know what she's talking about here. Connect on a guy with 8 blocks of territory and not enough goons to run it. So I guess they're talking about, like, they could take over that guy's territory.
I guess so.
Or something. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna come back in a actual way or something. Yeah, finger food. Yeah, there's a couple jokes going on. There's a whole Loot, Charlie, Vaggie line with the love is vile and blasphemous. I don't think that they were talking about, like, I think it's a metaphor. I don't know. Like, I think it's supposed to have a double meaning.
Heaven might be homophobic.
I don't think so, though. I think it's that Charlie is an angel demon, and then Vaggie is an angel. Like, I think that it has clearly to us, we can draw a parallel with homophobia, but I think in universe, because somebody in this episode calls Charlie a blue blood, like, I think they're being racist or something. Like, I think that they're being speciesist or something like that, more so. Yeah. But yeah, I loved how she just got really unhinged, and, like, Alistair and Rosie share, like, some sort of look with each other. Also, everyone's just watching this menacingly. But yeah, I love her personality. Again, like, they're getting closer. Am I crazy? Like, the shadows are getting closer.
They are. It's very creepy. I would, like, not want to fall asleep around these cannibals.
But yeah, I really liked this from Alistair. Like, oh, like, we're going to cannibal eat the angels. But yeah, I really like this. I like their little team-up thing. This was fun, too. Like, oh, I know what you did on Extermination Day. I can yell about it. Because here's what I mean, right? So these guys are moving stuff, right? So So there's like jobs. Like people have jobs.
Yeah.
There's like a work crew here. So how do you get it? I think that what they should do, if they were smart about this, is that they would write a Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. No, walk with me here. They would do that, but from the POV of when you get to hell, this is the gift basket. Like, this is the welcome.
Alistair's Guide to New Souls in Hell.
Like, yeah, or like Lucifer or something. Like, somebody writes a book for you, and it's talking to you as if you're in universe, and that's how we get all the, you know, banking information. Like, that's how we get all the nerdy stuff that I want to know. That would make sense to me.
This is how you set up your Roth IRA in hell.
Like that, I do like that idea. Maybe it's just me.
It might just be you. To be entirely honest.
But yeah, I love like how she's like, you're damn right, I'll open up that door. But yeah, this whole conversation was really interesting. It was kind of giving like, you know, Beauty and the Beast, where the Beast is like just lurking around in the darkness. It's interesting too because I totally forgot that they had a duet together, like unintentionally. So it seemed like that they were trying to draw a parallel.
But yeah, because they had the song
where
they both sing about how they love people in their life in the second or third episode.
Yeah, in the third episode.
And now they have another
which
song
was a forgettable song and a little sus. I think that Carmilla.
And this song is also a little forgettable.
I think that Carmilla's songs are bad.
Yeah.
I think all of them are bad. For some reason, it has nothing to do with the singer. Like, she is a good singer. For some reason, it's like every song that includes her is a bad song. And I think the issue with it probably is that, like, in each episode, with some exceptions, there is, like, a song, and then there's, like, the song, right? There's the song, and then there's the song. And, for example, like, I think that Respectless was the song, and so with them it was like, whatever, you know, like whatever's going on. And like most of the episodes are like that, where there's kind of one bad, kind of not anything song, and then there's the big song. And Carmilla just so happens to have all of the little songs, because I think that the bigger number in this episode is the other one, not the one that they're about to sing together. Oh no, I do like Respectless, just not her parts. So that's what I mean. Like, Out for Love is bad, and Whatever It Takes is bad, and her part of Respectless is bad. Like everything, everything Carmilla touches somehow turns to ash. Like, I don't know, it's bad. Like for some reason to me. I don't know. But like, think about the other episode. You had Welcome to Heaven, which I hated that song. I thought he was super annoying, the guy that sung it, and I did not like it at all. And then you have You Didn't Know. Clearly, You Didn't Know is supposed to be the big one, right? So there's always like a little song, and then the song that's actually supposed to matter. I think that Carmilla's just a victim of getting the songs that are not like the important ones. I'm getting stuffed up. What is wrong with me? Anyway, I like their dialogue here. I like how she's literally standing behind the weapons. I thought that this shot was really cool. Like, just the fighting storyboards, especially next episode, are really good. But yeah, I like her point about how the angels are attacking because they think that they can't be killed, and so that the way that they attack, is it because it's too poppy and not enough musical theater? It's not even that, it's just, we'll get to it, I guess, when I see the lyrics again. There are just some suspicious things that happen. Not even just rhyming, but just, like, Carmilla's, like, blood on my face, which we kind of discussed as in, like, fine, whatever, but, like, you don't have blood on your face, you have blood on your hands.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's sort of one of those things where it's like,
That kind of sounds like a thing that people say.
Yeah, but, like, it just, I don't know, she just says some weird things. Like, in Whatever It Takes, her and Vaggie say some weird stuff, and then, just in general. I like cannibals and cannabets, or I don't know how you would say it. Cannabets. But yeah, I really like this part, like, in terms of...
For when the Goyles want to eat people.
I like, just, I don't know, the idea of unity, that they all stick together, the razzmatazz. Maybe razzmatazz is the actual word, Hunter. Like, of razzle-dazzle. Like, maybe razzmatazz.
I want to look
I need to take a
this
drink,
up.
because like I said, I'm like, I don't know.
I love how the second I would need a moment to look up razzmatazz, God, yeah, I'll look up Hazbin Hotel.
Listen, Hunter, you've been spacing out and thinking about, like...
I have been thinking about the pop star Chapel Roan.
And that's what you're doing
for 3 days straight. I used to have thoughts. Right. I don't have thoughts anymore.
And I don't know why. Okay, so I guess as Hunter looks us up, here's a little interlude.
Another term for razzle dazzle.
Okay, so what does I guess razzle dazzle is supposed to be together, and that you're not supposed to separate them?
The origin is dazzle, and then razzle dazzle appears in the late 19th century.
Okay.
A reduplication of dazzle is what razzle is.
Oh, so it's just kind of a nonsense.
Yeah, so we were right in that it was a kind of...
Someone get me a tomato? You know what looks oddly like a tomato? A red super chat. The songs in the show tend to have lyrical issues even when the instrumentals are absolute fire. You are absolutely right, Lazu Lazu. You are correct. That's what I've been talking about on my second channel a lot. Just weird things. But yeah, I really like how, it's not like you've ever failed to inspire before. I'm like, Alistair, do you want her to be confident or not? Like, I felt like that was a dig somehow. Stay Gone is a prime example, yeah. People are still coming for my throat for saying that I didn't like Stay Gone. Oh, so, okay. So about the Susan thing, I do wonder if this was a reference to Susan Wojcicki, who is the CEO of YouTube. I don't know if that was
I did not know that
name.
was the name of Susan, of the CEO of YouTube until you mentioned that.
Like, it doesn't look like her or anything.
You know what I think it is? I think that, like, Karen would have been too obvious. So Susan, if her name was Gertie, that'd also be funny. But the fact that it's just this kind of, like...
But, like, I don't know. I feel like there's
slightly antiquated name.
Like, Gertrude, or...
That's Gertie.
I don't know. I can't think of old people names, really.
Ethel?
Yeah. Like, if you said Ethel...
That's Ethel.
You could have even made, like, an Ethel Merman type joke, or, like, if you called her Patty Lapone type joke. Like, there were, like, I don't know.
I'm the German Ethel Merman, don't you know?
Oh, well, I don't know. But yeah, like...
That's the lyric from the producers.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
It's a good one, I've been told.
But, yeah, like, I just wonder if that was a Susan reference. Apparently the name was something else and they changed it. So I don't even know if it was intentional or not.
Maybe if it was Karen, but it was a little too obvious.
But yeah, she calls her, I'm not gonna show it because, like, again, YouTube isn't happy with our swearing or whatever, but,
she's just getting,
she calls her a blue blood, so clearly there's some sort of angel-related racism situation. Okay, I think we're safe for now. I don't think there's any swearing in the song. Oh, never mind. Okay. I mean, we can have a couple swear words. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it may have been a word that, again, rhymes with Hunter that may have been the cause in the other episode. So I think just a regular F-bomb is okay. For a 2-hour live stream. We'll see. But yeah, like, I like this idea of... oh, well, I'm not used to fighting with long hair, and she immediately takes her hair down to be like, yeah, like, that's not the actual problem. The problem is the fact that you, fight like you're invincible, obviously. But yeah, I thought that this was funny, just sort of calling out how obvious it was, because it was. Like, it really was.
What bothers me about this song is that it's like, oh, she had already decided to, like, tell her everything. She already decided to tell her, like, protect the people you love. This is how you defeat angels, this is where you fight them, this is how you win. But she decided she needed to kick her ass to do it. Yeah. And I guess maybe that's just how you learn, I guess, but like its framing was sort of odd. Because it kind of makes it feels like, it's not like, the song is like she decided that she was always going to help him and just kicked her ass to do it. Yeah. It wasn't that like Baggy did anything to convince her. Yeah. And I think that's what kind of makes it feel sort of...
I know what you mean. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. I didn't think about it that way. I think that that's correct. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of, like, Carmilla's like, you have 5 minutes, get out of here. But it doesn't actually seem like that she, like, anything Baggy said actually convinces her. So maybe it's like... But, yeah, I mean, you're right, Hunter. The problem is that she tells Baggy everything she needs to know and then fights. Right? Yeah. And so... that doesn't really make any sense to me, because you would think that they would fight, and after she proves herself, then you say it was the angelic weapon, and it was your angelic spear and stuff. So you're right, like, where things are placed in this episode is just kind of odd. Because we just got the whole explanation. That was it. Part of me also wonders if originally it was just gonna be the power of love, and then they decided that that was too cliche and too cringy or something, and so they changed
I mean, having the power of love saved the day in a
guess.
very cynical show about
But it's like she loves her daughters, and that's why
funny.
angels haven't been killed before, because nobody really cares about each other. I don't know. I feel like it would fit for this show with everything with Charlie and stuff, because that's what this song is about. But it doesn't really matter if she's fighting for the people she cares about or not, because Nifty just stabs Adam. Like, I don't know, this doesn't have any meaningful payoff to me, because Vaggie has always been, like, yeah, she hates the angels, but I wouldn't say she's driven by her detestation. Like, everything that she's always done has been out for Charlie, so I don't know. Like, I think that it is a little weird. It is a little strange. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this too much. But I don't know. Detestation and motivation, I have to investigate whether or not that actually rhymes. My inclination is to say no.
Inclination also rhymes with it, so.
My inclination is to say no, it does not, because you're not rhyming the Asian, you're rhyming you're writing the test.
Devastation.
Right? So
motivation.
Test and then motivation doesn't actually rhyme with each other. Right? Because you want the test, not the Asian. Also, this rhyme only works because she says us in a very, like, swallowy way, right? Because she said, your every step is stoked with, like, animus. And then she says, there's no way you can handle thus. Right? Like, instead of this, someone's like, you really had to force that in there.
You made a fucking
you
meal
really
of that.
needed to try. And it's fine because you can do that. But, like, I feel like thus is not as... Because, okay, with something like, if you have a character with a British accent, if something is actually said differently in a British accent, you can get away with it. Like, Respectless has some of those, where I'm like, this only makes sense because she's British. If you said this in an American way, it would suck. But, like, no other place says thus like that. That's not a regional dialect. That's just you're mispronouncing the word. I don't know. So that was just weird to me, I felt. She had to train her because she was explaining how her fighting style is bad. I guess, but I feel like that what they should have done is they should have trained her first to see if she was good enough and then give her the information. I thought it was a really solid thus. I mean, it just, nobody says thus like that, like, you know?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. Because they could have said, us. Right? Like, us as in, you can't handle the rest of us in hell. Carmilla's Latina, I thought.
Weirdly,
I mean, she is, but I don't think that
populated
changed.
with a lot of Latinas. There's just fucking
I mean,
Carmilla,
I think that's more
Vaggie.
of a voice actor. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I think that has more to do with the voice actors than the actual character. I don't
I
think
find
that
it amusing
What did
that there's
Busy
a lot
Pop
of-
mean by this? I don't think that they meant it.
I think everyone in South America is going to hell.
No, but yeah, I don't know about,
I think it's because
like,
I think
handle thus.
I think being a fan of soccer sends you to hell. So
Oh my God.
It really wasn't. It wasn't anything they did wrong. It was just.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the
It's
fact
one of
that
those
they
ones that's in like
mispronounced it.
Deuterometry that everyone forgets about. You know?
I know you're thirsting for
Those rules.
Vengeance Baggy. You're up for blood. Blood and love don't rhyme either. I don't think. It just occurs
Blood,
to me.
Love, no.
No.
Blood.
But how she says it, it's like
Are
they're
you
trying.
out for blood?
Like they're trying to make it rhyme. I don't think it does rhyme. Yeah, because I think that is supposed to be the rhyme there. So that's a little confusing. Because it does not rhyme. I also like protect them and be out for love because it seems like protect them and be out as in protect them and leave. But, you know what I mean? Because
Can
it's
I
two
have-
separate,
can I have
like,
a question?
yeah.
So sometimes you'll hear a song.
That's it.
Sometimes you'll hear a song. It's crazy, right? No, sometimes you will hear a song, and the lyrics don't really rhyme, but it still works. Why is that? Is it just because it's because the flow of it works?
I guess
there's like enough context.
I mean, it's like animus and thus, right? Like it's kind of like you're just tricking people's ears, I guess you could call it, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like it's on the singer to then have a pronunciation, like, thing. You know what I mean? Because if you said it like this, I think Respectless does it too. What is it? You better show some respect, check your behavior, nobody talks to that seal that way. Hey, did you expect us? We'd sit back and take your insolent praise and display. I don't think it's not in that part. It's somewhere else. She has another, maybe it was expect us. What was that supposed to rhyme with? Show some respect, check your behavior. Maybe it was respect and check. I don't know.
Just in my head, sometimes like, yeah,
I'm like,
I feel
I
like
need to
melody
look at
and
the
rhythm
slot. Like,
makes
I
up
don't
for
know.
a lack of a rhyme. And the way we've never done one of these shows where it's a musical, so I've never listened to you like hunt for rhymes. And I'm thinking about a bunch of songs I like, and I'm like, they don't rhyme, and yet it works. So I feel like, yeah, there must be some kind of flow that you can
Okay,
have
I found one. Sorry, that was like a Calxiyn. Like, if we were actually doing a video, I would cut that out because that was just a Calxiyn like brain fart moment. Okay, so in Poison, Angel Dust says, "I'm not above a love to cash in. Another lover underneath those flashing lights," which that rhymes, right? But then he says, "I should have guessed that this would happen." Right? And he doesn't say happen, he says happen, right? Which, they're both valid pronunciations, but like if you said it as happen, right? Or how we usually say it, like you need the in, right? So that's why like it doesn't rhyme, but Angel Dust says it convincingly enough that it does rhyme, because the idea is it's not like happen, right? It's happen.
Yes.
And you emphasize the in, and so that's like cash in, flash in, happen. All makes sense because it's like you're basically saying it like pin. I think there's another one. Like, he says, "Addicted to this feeling, I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choice in." And he says it's supposed to be and, but he just says and as though it's in. And that works with his weird kind of like, I don't know, mobster situation. So it's like, it's not that it doesn't rhyme, because it does rhyme, but that's because you're making it rhyme as the singer. If it was like, I don't know, like I would need to hear an example of a song that you like that, like, does that unapologetically, and like, has it where the singer is not actually trying.
In my mind, I think like you can, like someone mentioned it in the chat, that it's like, yeah, I think you can kind of like, forgive a dropped rhyme, or when there's not a rhyme, when there's enough of like a kind of a flow and a momentum to the song. It's not totally
fear yourself of
disharmonious.
losing, that's your, reason to live. Harness your heart, you can't help choose. Okay, give and live is fine. What's going on with losing? Losing and choosing? I think yeah, losing and choosing is fine because they both have the middle part. But yeah, it was just that weird, like, handle thus. I was like, what do you mean handle thus? What are you talking about? But yeah, blood and love doesn't rhyme though. So I don't know what they were. I mean, I don't think it does. I would have to look it up just to make sure, but I'm like pretty sure that it doesn't. Music changes key and soars. Thank you. Subtitles. But yeah, think of who you think of who you care about and protect them and be, yeah, I guess about and out rhyme, but like, I don't know, are you not kind of just rhyming out without?
Yeah.
In a sense?
About out.
A boot? Right? As she said, think of who you care about, right? Then it wouldn't rhyme anymore, so it's about how you
know what accents you don't see in hell, Canadians. Makes you think.
Oh my god. You're gonna fight with yeah, gloves and then shove is just kind of awkward because, like, gloves and shove, like, is just, like,
what did you go to hell for? Well, I don't know. I think one time I didn't open the door to the Tims to that one lady. I think that was a little rude.
And then above is fine. I don't know. I just think that the lyrics are a little
but
like...
I mean, if I go to hell, I go to hell. It's not so bad.
Like, I think that even more than, like, the lyricism or whatever, Hunter, I think what you said is actually the correct take in terms of, like, this should have happened before, and then she should have revealed how to fight the angels.
Yes.
Like, it should have been, this happens first, well, look at that, you just might survive this, so I'll tell you what the angels can be killed by. Because why does Vaggie now have to win this fight? It doesn't matter. She could have just left the warehouse and been like, thanks, lady. I'm glad it happened. Also, okay, so why did her wings come back? Because you guys were like, oh, well,
the power of
the
love.
angel thing is too cheesy if the angels were killed by the power of love. But I'm like, well, what was this then? This was still the power of love too, right? So, like, it's just this entire show is just
I'm sorry,
cheesy.
someone in the chat just said Canadians have a separate hell called heck.
Oh my god.
No, ours is called HE.
I was just thinking that, yeah. Oh my god. Wings, guys? What about the wings? Hello, how's everyone doing today? We're doing good, Snake. We're just sort of like, they can just grow back, but why do they grow back now? This is what I don't understand. What?
Because the power of love.
And, like, the lady, like, Loot made such a big deal of ripping her limbs off. Does that mean that her arm will grow back? Like, that's not permanent damage?
I don't know, but does Loot have the power of love? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
not just love of a woman.
This came out of literally nowhere. Like, we need something, you know, in my opinion. Like, I want an explanation. I feel like that this should have happened. Hunter said something interesting, which was that there should have been a time during the final fight when Vaggie caught Charlie instead of Lucifer, and I feel like that's when her wings should have come back, was that she should have flown up to catch Charlie, and then we see that she has wings again. And that could have, because Lucifer catches her twice, and they could have done one of each, you know?
Yes, so, one of each. Everybody gets one.
Like, everybody gets, like, a catch, right? But yeah, I just feel like what they were, oh my god. What they were doing with Carmilla and Vaggie was a little forced.
To the fairness of the show, maybe it was like, you need to prove me that you're worthy to get my weapons. Because it's one thing to like know you need angelic weapons, and the other thing to have Carmilla fund
guess,
that
but they
operation.
could just steal them. Like, I don't know. They could steal them. They could, so I guess you're right, Hunter.
That's actually how I got my PS5. I did interpretive dance in front of the guy at Best Buy, and he was like, fuck, you're too good, and he gave it to me.
I want an explanation in universe. I don't know, but I don't think explanations from the creator are good enough for some things. You know what I mean? Like, I want...
For example, Fizzy Pop has not said how the tampon business
Oh my god. I mean, I would hope that when you die, you don't have your period anymore. Like, that would just suck.
What if you're always on your period?
If you can't reproduce, you should not have a... Like, you should not get
But what if
period.
that's hell? Everyone has a period.
It would be hell. Everybody?
Everybody.
Even the... Okay.
Yeah, Husker's like, god damn it, I'm on my menses.
Oh, again? Oh, no. But yeah, I like the scene with Rosie and Charlie. I thought that this was really sweet. I think it's just interesting how, like, they made a better relationship.
You know how you have, like, tampon commercials?
Sure.
It's the most we've ever talked about feminine hygiene products.
I guess.
You know how, like,
I don't really know anything about tampons.
But, like, tampon commercials where they're
they're like playing a sport or
Yeah, they're
something?
playing a sport and they're always pouring, like, blue liquid onto the pads and whatnot.
Yeah.
Imagine, and it's just like a woman being like, I'm under control with my Tampax Pearl. Imagine that, but it's Husker. Like, Keith David's gravelly voice.
No. What it should be is that, like, fighting in the extermination,
hey,
like, that should be, like,
hey, did you go to hell and now every month you bleed out of your pee hole? Hi, I'm Husker.
No, it shouldn't be Husker. It should be, if you're fighting in the extermination, the Tampax, like, never leaks. You know what I mean? The only blood on you will be the blood of your enemies.
Will be the blood of the sinners as you give them holy justice.
Like,
Brought to you by Tampax
I think
Pearl.
that's funny. I could write for the show. But yeah, I think it's just...
I could write in-universe tampon commercials for any show. Give me a movie. Give me a show. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it for SpongeBob. Like, extra exorbitant.
I mean, with Ruby, it makes sense just like fighting against the Grim. Because you could have
Pyrrha Nikos being like, when I'm fighting Grim, I don't want any leakage.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And then it's her like stabbing people.
Oh my god. What is this stream? This is a stream where it's like, if it wasn't about something that was like, that we need to keep up, it would be private. Like, I'd be like, well, Hunter, we had a good run, but I'm privating this stream. But instead, it's about something we actually need to keep.
Am I ruining this?
No, I think it's funny. Like, you know, we've just had a very unhinged time and not much conversation about the episode.
We've got enough conversation.
Oh, yeah,
we also just talked about Moana, periods, and Chapel Roan.
I'm sure
who is brilliant, and you should all look at her music.
I'm sure that, like, what was I gonna say? Oh, I think it's interesting how they developed something more convincing between, like, Rosie and Charlie compared to Vaggie and Carmilla, even though Rosie only appeared in this episode and the other one but had no lines. Are you okay? What's happening?
Because it's always women's voice during tampon commercials.
Right?
But if it was Keith David, like, if it was that voice, it's like, hey, ladies, like, that's really funny to me because it's so out of left field. I could never be in marketing, I don't think, because my job would be like, okay, we're gonna ask Hunter, and Hunter's gonna come up with the worst possible idea.
Did you see the Duolingo character getting a Brazilian butt lift on TikTok?
I feel like with Duolingo you can do
right.
Yeah,
but
you
that's
can do
what
mean
like
shit.
that's what you need as a job.
Yeah, to
like
do
that's that's where I feel
what crazy shit can we have the Duolingo?
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy. Like the idea that
giving the Duolingo hour,
like a booty.
Would you be able to like fly if you had a Brazilian butt lift? Also, why Brazil?
I don't know. I don't know why it's called
Is that where it was originated?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know about these things.
Anyway, so yeah, I like this dialogue from Charlie, like, you know, just this whole conversation in general, like,
it's
she's
really
flawed,
beautiful.
but we're all flawed.
It's really funny that one of the most wholesome characters in the show is a cannibal.
Well, I mean, and that's what I mean too, like, people are like, it would be too cheesy if this happened, and I'm like, well, what about this? Like, is this not sort of the same?
Well, it's not cheesy, it's just like,
but it's heartfelt,
sweet.
it's sweet, it's nice, right?
It's like...
And, like, the fact that singing works, here's the thing, is that you cannot, like...
That's
you
better,
cannot
that's
make
better
a musical without
advice.
Sincerity. Like,
That's
you know
better
what I mean?
relationship advice than I've gotten from, like, my own mother, frankly. And my mother's never eaten someone.
Like,
to my knowledge.
I understand what people are saying. I feel like musicals, though, are inherently cheesy, so you cannot separate the cheese if you're doing a musical. Like, you just can't. I don't think. That's just... I don't know, like that's just
are you saying it needs to be kind of an earnest?
Yeah, like and so when
form?
people are like, I'm surprised that the show is so earnest, I'm like, well, I'm not, because you have a bunch of people singing, right? Like I saw something recently, and I don't agree with this. I think that this was kind of a weird thing to say, but that executives think that the reason why people don't want to go see musicals in the theater is because we're in like the dark times. And musicals are too fun and unrealistic for our current reality, and nobody wants to see them because life is sad, and so the audience cannot suspend their disbelief in terms of singing. I kind of think that that's bullshit. I think that the
I've heard it be the other thing,
like,
where it's like...
musicals are just bad lately, and so that's why nobody wants to go see them. I don't think that it has anything to do with, like, oh, we're in the Depression times, and so people can't buy into the earnestness of a musical. I don't think that's true. I think
that the reason why people are maybe not enthusiastic about musicals is because... I kind of think it's musicals fans' fault. Because a lot of musical fans will not say that, oh, I'm a fan of, like, live theater, or I'm a fan of film. It's like, no, I'm a musicals person.
Yeah.
And it kind of implies you have to be a musical person to enjoy musicals.
Like gatekeeping almost?
Yeah, so it's not even gatekeeping, but it's just like people assume, like, oh, I wouldn't like it because I don't like musicals. But you actually do like musicals.
Yeah.
You
or,
just
like,
think
musical is a medium and not a genre.
Yeah, you think you just like musicals, the genre.
Yeah.
But
musicals is a medium of delivery for a story.
And just
so
because the
saying
one
you don't like
person
musicals is
you
like
knew
saying
in
you don't
high
like
school
film,
that liked,
you know?
Yeah. And it's like, no, you can like a movie, it just needs to be your thing. But I think it's the idea that like people who like musicals like musical and it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, oh, but that's like, oh, well, you don't like video games. It's like, well, video games are just a medium.
Yeah.
You know,
you
and that's
might
what
find
I think.
one you like.
Yeah.
You like Bejeweled.
Like my mom likes Candy Crush, right? I'm not saying that's not a real game. It is a real game.
That's a video
to me. It's
yeah.
a real video game. And she's like interested in Arnold and I playing Stardew Valley. She's like, oh, it's like Farmville. And I'm like, well, no, but sure. But like, yeah, you know, people yearn for the farm. Anyway, so.
But yeah, I think that people think to enjoy a musical, you need to be a musical person. But
and I think that you're
true.
right.
I think there might be something to that.
I think that you're right. I also do, like, I don't think it's the idea of, oh, like, we're living in the dark times, nobody wants to be happy.
Well, no, because,
because I think that musicals succeed when people are unhappy.
Yeah, because, like, during, like, the war, all we had, like, during the Second World War and the Great Depression, all there was really upbeat, like,
I think the problem is that some musicals don't want to earnestly be musicals.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, Mean Girls, I haven't seen it yet. We were actually supposed to go see it because my mom was like, your second channel's doing really good. Like, if you need an investor, I'll fund you to go out to the movies so you can go watch Mean Girls. And now I'm kind of like, we can still go.
I mean, I have I got a ticket thing, so I'm
not as interested.
I think it would be really funny for me to watch Mean Girls the musical before I watch the actual Mean Girls. I think that would be hilarious.
With Mean Girls, apparently they changed a lot of the orchestration to sound more like pop music, which is fine, but when I say that a musical needs to be earnest, that's kind of what I mean, in that Mean Girls kind of doesn't, it seems like it doesn't want to be a musical, and that's what may turn people off, because, like, you can't really half-ass something like that. Like, you're either a musical or you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that the pop music thing, like, it may have been the right short-term choice to get younger people into it, because, like, you know, Spotify bait, whatever, but I don't know if that's the best long-term choice.
But I also feel like because of YouTube and because of Tumblr, like, younger people are more into musicals.
Oh yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
more available
I guess just a general whatever.
Yeah.
I guess their mindset was, we'll make this sound more pop music-ish to appeal to the kid. I don't know. I guess that's what they thought. But that's what I think, right? Is that, like, you need to be earnest to make a musical, so it doesn't really surprise me that this show is earnest when it does its songs. Like, when Charlie starts singing, it is genuine that she's singing. And even Alistair and Vox, even though they're more cynical characters, like, they are still actually singing. Because for the audience to buy that everybody's bought this, like, you kind of have to go for it, or else it just is kind of nothing. And I think that's the kind of the difference between which songs are good and which songs are bad in the show, too, is that some of them don't seem like something genuine. I guess, like, whenever Charlie sings it is, because that's coming from, like, her heart. But when Vaggie and Carmilla have that duet in the third episode, I'm kind of like, well, I kind of don't believe you. Like, I kind of don't feel like your emotions were overflowing to the point where you actually needed to start singing. Right? And there's a couple other things that are like that, but I don't know. Anyway, I really do like this song. I like the whole, like, you know, Charlie has a lot of, like, metaphors that are also accidentally cannibalism. Like, you know, something that you can taste it. They're not saying that you can literally, like, when Quasimodo's, like, taste the morning, it's not like he's actually tasting the morning, right? It's just a feeling.
It's a little, like, cannibalism jokes.
And so I like the little cannibalism jokes. I think that this song is just, like, more well
it feels like more of a classic, like, Hello Dolly.
For sure.
Oklahoma-esque, jaunty, everything's great. Even the setting, kind of classic musical project.
I think Own and Throne is okay. Yeah.
Own, Throne?
I think that's probably fine. There was something like, oh, with a billion needy faces, I guess what I mean to say is, I think that that's actually okay because it's like, oh, she's talking on the spot. Like, the difference between Charlie and Vox, like, Vox's part in Stayed Gone being a little suspicious and a bit of a mess and whatever, is that we never see Vox when he's cool and collected, so I feel like that's the difference that the actual song needed. Whereas with Charlie, like, we've seen her be confident in her other songs, so we know what it's like when she's rhyming perfectly, whereas this is, like, off the top of her head, and so I'm like, that lack of rhyme doesn't bother me because it's imperfect to show that she's trying to think of what she's saying to people. So I think that that's fine. But yeah, I'd argue that this show has made me more interested in musicals, and I feel like that it should. Like, you know, I feel like that's, it should, instead of turning you off.
At the end of the day, like, because I don't even necessarily consider myself, I enjoy musicals, I don't consider myself a musicals person.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you realize you can enjoy it without it being, like, a big deal, I think more people will be invested in the notion of watching musicals.
Yeah. And I think that the cannibalism, like this, like, the die to save the people of the city, by die, do you mean, that, like, it's just like, no, but yeah, like, Destiny has picked me to be that, if you'll permit me. Like, again, that's not a perfect thing, but I'm like, there's something to it where it's like, she's trying to think of the right things to say. And so and the alliteration's nice too, you know? But yeah, this is like a little tap number, like this part. Like, hop in the saddle, like, I don't know, like, hotel in hell, like, yeah, that does, I'm pretty sure that does rhyme. I've listened to the whole being dead thing a lot since the show ended. Yeah, like, Beetlejuice kind of has this vibe, too. But yeah, like, I like the camaraderie, yes-sir-y, like, I don't know, there's just a cheesiness about it,
yeah,
I guess, and that's what I like.
And the angels you can eat,
yeah,
the
like,
children.
Oh, yeah, like, I thought
her
that
delivery
great.
Of, okay, was really just, mwah.
They're on the attack. When they move to strike, we will fight biting back. That was good. Like, that was a genuine, like, that's a banger. Like, I love that. Like, I thought that was great. That was a great line. Like, yeah, and so, you know, even though the other songs have some clunkiness, like, the rhymes that they use here really just sell me,
I feel like we've
you know?
made this joke again, but it reminds me of the scene in The Music Man where he, like, convinces a small town to, like, go with his
yeah.
scheme. It has the same kind of vibe.
And, like, all the little dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that this was really cute. Like, I really like all the lyrics and, like, the sort of the different, like,
darling.
you know, little tab numbers and all of that stuff. But yeah, I like the combination of, Mario music, copyright incoming. I mean, that's okay, hold on, guys. I mean, this is the copyright safe music playlist, but if you guys are scared, I'll change it for you.
I love how we're talking about hell.
Oops,
and cannibals,
you guys can see my whole desktop. I didn't realize that. That's okay.
All they're seeing is 15 billion
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think there's anything weird.
No.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, so, Mario music, no more Mario. But yeah. But yeah, I thought that this was I really liked this song. I liked this little thing. So Hunter was the one that questioned Power Fell. I controversially will say that I think it's fine because it's poking fun at, like, when musicals used to have people with very heavy Southern accents, and so I
just
think
don't
it's
get the
fine.
joke.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
guess so. Like, I don't know. Like, for some people, it's gonna sound kind of, like, stupid, but, like, I kind of get what they were doing, so I think that it's okay. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Glinda does this in Popular, where she's like, I can't even remember it.
Popular.
Lar, right? Because she's trying to line, right? And so, you know, there's some other ones that do that same thing, like just in classic, like Oklahoma does that sometimes. So yeah, I think it's okay, because like that's what they're mimicking, right? Like this, like, I'm just a girl who can't say no, like, and like all of that, you know, those Southern accent songs that tend to do that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. I thought it was also a play on how Lucifer fell or something. Oh, I didn't think about that. Maybe? Yeah, I guess. Because, like, what made Lucifer powerful was the fact that he's also a demon.
I guess so, yeah.
Like, also a pun. The whole I do declare. Yeah, kinda, like, stuff like that, right? But yeah, obviously, Alistair says she's filled with potential that I could guide. So I guess that, like, now we're also getting some more, like, what is Alistair planning? I feel like I would need to, like, before we do a video on what does Alistair plan or whatever, which, this is unfortunate because I just canceled my Amazon subscription, but whatever, I have our footage, I guess. I wonder if, like, you know, I could comb through all of Alistair's dialogue in the entire show and try to figure out, like, stuff that he said that is suspicious.
How fantastically autistic of you.
Because I feel like that is something, right? Like, she's full of potential I could guide. Then that's clearly something, like, that's giving us some more information for his motivations. But yeah, like, we cannot take it anymore. The time has come to go to war. Prepare to fight. We're ready. Like, for that. Like, all of that. Like, it just had a very nice build. I thought that all the instrumentation was good. Oh, lend a hand was funny because people had actual hands. Like, the visual gags were just good. Like, it just felt like the song, it knew what it wanted to do, and it was funny, and it was not cringe, and it didn't make me sad. So I'm like, maybe the bar is on the floor, but, you know, that's... Right, I love how it's like, there's all these people, and then it's just the kids and, like, a dog demon person. But yeah, there has to be a video of Hazbin, but only when Alistair's on screen. Oh, that's true. Maybe that'll work. But yeah, I like how like they didn't linger on this like we're mad at each other and broken up.
I like how Veggie's really impressed by the shrunken head too. It's like, you care.
Yeah, I thought that this was nice.
And
like, here you go, Hunter. Here's your gay people. There you go. Like, there's a little bedroom eyes.
It's a little horny
for you, right?
Know?
But yeah, I love how like everybody's helping to fix stuff up. I thought that was really cute.
I'm just saying, like, I know Charlie's like a sweetheart, but Veggie at least could stand to be slightly more horny.
But yeah, like, I thought, like, you know, all the reasons why they're staying, like, I thought that was really cute. And I just thought that was nice, because, like, I kind of forgot about them, to be honest. That was, like, a nice little B-plot sort of situation, like a C-plot, not even the B-plot. I would say that Vaggie was the B-plot. But I think, okay, so I guess now we'll just talk about that episode as a whole before we get into the next one. I think that every episode should have been that way. Like, I liked the pace.
There should be an A-plot, B-plot.
Oh, no, not even that, but just, like, the pacing. Because every episode has had an A and B plot, I think. But, like, just the idea of how it was paced, I feel like I wish that all of them had been like that. Because I feel like that's just so much, to me, that's just so much better in terms of how it didn't feel rushed. Like, I guess, you know, a good example is this idea of we find out that Vaggie's an angel, and in the very same episode, Charlie also finds that out. Yeah. And we talked about how that could have been, you know, split into 2 different episodes, or like we go to heaven and leave heaven in the same episode, and that could have stood to last a little longer, right? So, you know, I feel like that when they finally got to the finale, they decided to, like, I don't want to say use the money, but that's, you know, you guys know what I mean. I feel like they used their money for the finale, right? And so that's when they could kind of do what they want out of the pace that they wanted to. But, like, I feel like that the other episodes just happen way too fast. And I hope that if the show gets another season, they'll slow down more in this way. Because I feel like in a different scenario, if this episode happened earlier, you would have, I don't know, like you would have, what happened in the episode before 7? I guess it was the angel stuff, right?
Yeah, it was where they went to heaven.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, I imagine if this episode was structured like the other ones, you would have all of that and start half of the fight with the angels, because that's kind of how some of the other episodes have been in terms of like stuffing way too much or going way too fast. Like maybe it wouldn't be the fight with the angels, but like it would end on that night before they go to war and everybody's drinking. They would shove that into with the last episode. Like that's, I guess, a kind of a good analogy for what I mean. If episode 7 had the first half of episode 8 just shoved in there and then episode 8 started with the war, I think that's how I feel about like episode 6. I think it is. Yes. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I thought it was perfectly paced, and I just hope that they do that. And I thought that other than the Carmilla Vaggie song, I did like the songs a little better in this episode, and in episode 8 too. I thought that the songs were better. I think it had
a really strong ending song.
Yeah.
Even if the Carmilla Vaggie, or really more just a Carmilla song, really, Vaggie.
Yeah, Vaggie did not say, yeah, I don't know why I said it was both of them. Vaggie is there. Yeah, that's weird too that they didn't have them do a duet again, really.
Yeah.
I need more water, so I'm gonna leave you in Hunter's capable hands for a couple
Capable
seconds.
Is a bit of a stretch, but I can. I'm in control. I probably shouldn't do that because then the swear words will come. Okay, that's fun. No, I really enjoyed the last episode. The thing about this finale is that it kind of feels entirely separate from the rest of the show, because so far the show has very much so been a comedy, dark comedy musical, and all of a sudden it kind of becomes like a shonen action. Like there's legitimately like the fight scene later between Lute and Vaggie is like gnarly and close up and stabby and lots of knives. It felt like I was watching like a Bourne Identity movie. And then you have like super-powered Alistair and super-powered Adam flying around and shooting lasers. It felt like Dragon Ball Z. And then like the one ally drops down, and then it's the cliche of like, oh, the stronger ally comes. It really was Yeah, it suddenly, as C-Mills suggest, it became Infinity War out of a sudden. It was a big punch-up where all your characters. And that was really enjoyable. I don't know, I guess part of me expected those fight scenes to all be like songs, weirdly, and not a big gap of no singing, you know? Maybe I expected it to kind of be like, I don't know, like in Barbie where the two Kens battle it out by singing songs at each other. Because I'm talking about how this episode kind of weirdly became a fight scene.
Like serious?
Yeah, like, well, not serious. The show's serious enough, but it became an action show.
Yeah.
Instead of like a comedy musical.
Well, I mean, Beauty and the Beast and stuff do that too, so...
Yeah, but these fight scenes were way better. Like, they
really?
than the Beauty and the Beast ones.
I
like,
mean, I don't
comedic,
know.
You know.
Like, I thought that they were when Gaston and the Beast fight on the thingy.
Oh,
I just meant that they're like the
you know?
same.
But it's not like
Oopsie.
vicious and like stabby.
Sure.
I don't know. Nifty's adorable going train. I will also say that it feels a bit like the first half of this episode, if my memory serves me correctly, kind of feels like the last good episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah,
I think I mentioned this in the past when we maybe did the reaction, where it's like they're waiting for the White Walkers to show up, so they just kind of sit around and chat. This is what the beginning of this episode feels like. Like, oh, we know we're in for the fight of our lives, but right now we're just kind of chatting.
And I do like, there are some funny things here, like, Nifty is stabbing a practice dummy, Cherry Bomb and Angel Dust are fighting. Alistair is just watching all of them. I'm hiding there were so many swear words in this episode too, I don't know why. Yeah, I wish Mom could be here to see this. That was so messed up considering, like, the ending. You know, but yeah, I really like Serpentis.
Dressed like Napoleon, and he has I choose to believe that he stole, like,
somebody's clothes.
No, that cropped from underneath Vaggie and Charlie's bed.
Oh my god. But yeah, I like the Angel Dust joke with the stab. I thought that was funny.
I also like how Angel Dust jumps up the pole and then, like, goes down it like a stripper word.
Yeah,
like,
you
don't have a good shot of it, but it was a very elegant flip
like
and
a
roll
backflip,
out.
yeah. Because I only have 1 frame per second, so it's like a blink and you miss it or something. But yeah, I liked Vaggie's speech. I thought it's nice to see
everyone doing their own thing.
Everyone doing their own work, like, you know, because this is like blink and you'll miss it type stuff, right? Angel Dust with the gun. I love how just Vox is just watching them in plain view, mind you. Like, it's not like his cameras are even hidden or anything. But yeah, we're just gonna skip over some of the dialogue. Just
I love how whenever Cherry Bomb goes up,
it's always Cherry Bomb, where I'm like, oh my god. I thought that there was gonna be a song right here, but instead it was like, I want to know,
very earnest.
like, it's been an honor getting to know all of you. I will show this though. I think this is okay.
Fighting you homosexuals and fighting beside you homosexuals and future tampon salesmen.
Oh my god. But yeah, I thought that this was really sweet. And this is what I mean by earnest, because Charlie is earnest, right? And so I love how, like, Vaggie's like, I'm personally excited. It's been a long time since I wanted to stab anyone. Like, I thought that was so funny. My only criticism with this episode, and I guess we'll talk about it more later when the Vees are on screen, is that, like, Velvet was right, and she does not have a single celebratory moment about, like, oh yeah, I was right, suck it, like, to anyone. And I thought that was weird, because they made such a big deal about her standing up to Carmilla, and that really had no payoff at all. And I'm like, why did they do that? I don't know. Guys, do I sound stuffed up to you? I think that, like, I don't know, I think, like, okay, so in Canada, it was like 15 degrees yesterday. We're supposed to be in the middle of winter.
Yeah,
so I think that, like,
well, it's colder
I think
today.
I'm having spring seasonal allergies, like, confused.
Yeah.
Because it's so warm outside.
Well, it's colder today. It was really warm yesterday.
But yeah, like, I feel stuffed up. I don't know. I'm just a little sad.
I have hay fever.
Velvet doesn't say anything! Exactly, guys. Exactly, Grim Witches. Like, why didn't they do anything? Right? Like, shouldn't Velvet be like, yeah, I knew that she killed the angel, bro? Like, I don't know.
She's not even bothered by it would seem.
Okay, we have a super chat from Lazu. Oh my god, Lazu. Thank you for the $10
the man's
super
so
chat.
nice they lazooed him twice.
Hot take. Who's in that profile picture? That looks like the guy. No, that's not the Duke from Anastasia, but it must be another Disney. Or sorry, from Cinderella, but it must be another Disney thing. Take my money. I like you guys' analysis. Thank you. The episodes were goofy. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to look at the outfits, the battle outfits in a second, because I don't like.
Great.
They did not stay in my brain. Like, I cannot memory recall, so we will check in a couple minutes for you after we talk about Alistair. Like, it's been a thrill watching them all connect with each other. So does he not long for found family, maybe a little bit?
You know,
because this almost makes him sentimental, not yet.
When I watched this, Nifty's perfect in this, where she just talks about enjoying being able to run amok and kill roaches. But I feel like they make Alistair look really menacing.
Right.
He's constantly asking to make deals. You know, he's killed a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what his motivations are, and he's constantly smiling. But when you have a moment where he's kind of alone, you think, oh, he's going to say his motivation.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
But he never does.
So I'm in this weird position of, like, clearly this man is shifty.
Right.
Clearly, like, not to be trusted. But he's not really done anything other than demand, like, from Charlie.
A promise. And, like, you know, is it evil to not want to do something for free? Should we not all charge for our labor? I don't know. Like, I'm sure that he has bad intentions, but I'm just saying that, like, Ursula in The Little Mermaid making a deal with Ariel is not the part that's bad. The part that's bad is that Ursula actively sabotages it so Ariel will fail, and then she's bait to catch Triton. That's what it's about, right? But the mere fact that there's a contract between them is not the problematic part. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't do something for nothing, right? Not in this economy. Not in this economy, we won't, right? So, I don't know. But, like, one could get accustomed. So he's not accustomed yet. But, like, this, I think, is foreshadowing, right? Because it's the king.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're actually, like, clearly trying to tell us that this is what Alistair wants, right? Can the person who he has a deal with hear him or something? Well, he's talking to Nifty. That would be an interesting idea, though, if that person has tabs on him at all times. Because he does say, well, no, because he does say that
Nifty's really in charge here.
No. Like, chat, I think, is saying, like, is Alistair always talking to the person that he has a deal with? But he does say, like, later on when he's dying, he's like, I hope that I know that my deal will have a back door.
This is a weird...
So I don't think that
This is a weird question, but do you remember the night on Bald Mountain?
Like, Chernobog?
That's what his name was. Okay, Chernobog.
Yeah.
What if, like, I was trying to think of, like, what's a big demon? Like, Chernobog's a big demon.
But
what if, like, Nifty's
I don't know if Chernobog's in the Bible, though. Is he?
I don't know. I mean,
I think he's just isn't Chernobog a Disney character?
I think they didn't invent him.
I don't know. But yeah, okay, chat, we will investigate the idea that Alistair might be talking to someone. There are eyes watching Alistair all the time. Like, in previous episodes, there are eyes around the hotel. But I think he is just talking to Nifty.
I just thought it was...
Like, I think that he's just talking to her, right?
If the name of that monster was, like, Niflheim or something.
No,
Niflheim,
you're not.
It would be funny if secretly... Nifty was one of the most powerful creatures in all of
This was a really cute moment between them. I thought that this was nice. I liked the scene with Cherry Bomb. I thought this was really, really cute.
Would you like to have sex with...
Oh my god.
Would you like to have sexual intercourse with me before we both die?
But I do need to hide some of this because Cherry Bomb says bad things after this. Anyway.
Wait, what does Angel Dust say
about... The thing that we can't talk about, that's what I was covering.
Is it a part of his body and its brilliance?
That it has two.
Oh.
Which doesn't necessarily make you brilliant, like...
I guess not.
No. I mean...
But, like, you know, if you've had one so often, you think to yourself, maybe two would be a fun change. Don't want to fuck a two-dick snake man?
I just think...
I can't wait. I really want to know what you're thinking right now. Please share with the class.
I just think male appendages are gross, so the idea that he has two does not entice
also,
me
like,
any
are
further.
Are they like this? Is it like a Biden? Are they stacked
I think
horizontally?
that's I think it would be
vertically?
like that
A Biden.
for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know. Some people in Twisted Wonderland fanfiction do that for Malleus because he's a dragon, I guess. I don't know.
He's got a freaky like bad dragon dick.
But yeah, so I just think that does not sound appealing to me whatsoever. Like, I don't know. But I guess Cherry Bomb's built different, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, what is chat saying? You guys are talking about her, like, Nifty's eyes. I guess in regards to somebody always watching Alistair, I don't know. But yeah, like, this, Charlie crying at this was, like, such, like, conspiracy bait, like, in terms of, like, when the trailers came out, we all thought, like, oh, she had a fight with someone, and, like, it was a whole thing, and it was, like, nothing.
Not really.
Okay, so for this reprise, I just need to check whether or not the rhymes match the last the actual song. I think it is a little weird that they're doing a reprise of a song, like a father-daughter song has now been changed into a romantic number.
Let's
but I
be
guess
fair.
it's fine.
Let's be fair. Charlie calls Vaggie daddy. It's a classic situation of like, hey dad, can you grab me the salt? And then Vaggie reaches.
And Alistair and Lucifer all reach at the same time.
And the three of them look at each other. And then Satan looks at Vaggie and says, I'm fine with you. It's you, Alistair, that bothers me.
Are you guys saying that this is Mario again? Is that why we're worried?
Well, you know, I also called Charlie, I also called your mother daddy, so I get it. I imagine
I'm gonna pick 1 p.m. Animal Crossing, and that should
Can we just get,
fine.
like, can we just annoy the hell out of people and put, like, Wii Shop channel 10 hours on in the background?
Oh my god. Okay. Wait, well now nothing's playing. Hold on, guys. Uh-oh, YouTube's buffering.
Oh, shit.
Bestie, are you okay? Please, speak to us. You're okay. You're okay. That's what I say every time technology doesn't work. I'm like, you're okay, don't worry. That's oh, I did it again. It's okay, there's nothing interesting on my desktop for you guys to look at anyway. Why would Charlie call Vaggie daddy and not mommy?
Because
it's like,
some women just have daddy energy.
Your daughter calls me daddy too. I don't know, it's like the call me sir thing from Ruby, right? Like.
Yeah, you know, like Vaggie is a woman, but has daddy energy. It's like, you know, it's okay if you don't get it. It's what it is.
But yeah,
don't worry too much about it.
I feel like that, I don't know. I think that maybe they just made a reprise because at this point it's like, man, we have too many songs in this show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that, like, they needed, I don't know, part of me thinks that they did a reprise just because it's like, oh, here's a melody that we have already. Let's just,
this guy already had to make like 15 or 16
songs.
in a
like,
goddamn
I can allow
2 months period.
But I do wonder if that was the reason. Like, I
let
thought
him
that
have his like reprise and let him have him kiss.
Yeah, like I thought that
I will also say that daddy and mommy have very different energies.
Oh my God,
I know we're repeating that. Vaggie's a little more daddy, you know?
I like Lut's violence and bloodshed. Somebody was like, why do you feel bad for Lut? She's like sociopathic. I don't care. I still feel bad for her.
Sociopath.
I feel bad for her in relation to Adam. Like, I'm not saying that she's a good person. I feel bad for how Adam actually treats her. Now, let's talk about the outfits because somebody thought that they were
like
a
how
little
Vaggie
goofy.
it kind of looks like her angel outfit, but it's a little different. She
Charlie
also looks like an
just
X-Men.
had her tux. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's a battle
like, it is
dress.
kind of weird how they gave her a battle dress.
It's a combat skirt.
Like,
as
you know
Ruby
what I
taught
mean?
us.
Like, I guess I like Vaggie's hair up. I thought that was nice. I like that Vaggie has a suit that's a little bit more like her original extermination outfit, but changed because that's like her owning something. I don't know how to feel about Charlie's dress now that we brought it up because
her boots feel a little bit like Camilla's, so maybe that's like a Camilla influence.
Cal likes Neo. I don't think Cal cares about the goodness of people. No, it's not even that. It's just like I feel bad for how Adam treats her, and like. I don't know. Like, she clearly cares about him, but he's just a terrible person. Like, she's like a girl in an abusive relationship to me, who is also shitty. Like, she's also, like, violent and whatever. But, like, how he just, like, calls her, like, a bitch and stuff. Like,
do you ever, like, look at two people and they're very shitty and you just think they deserve each other, you know?
Yeah, but that's not how I feel about Lute and her. I don't know. Like, Lute and Adam, though. You know what I mean? Because I think it's, like, it's almost Stockholm Syndrome, too, because, like, as far as we understand, Adam may have made the exorcist, and so I don't even know if it's necessarily romantic, but it's just like, your parent is shitty, you know, and like that was all she knew, was being born for this purpose to murder. So I do think that Lute will have some sort of sympathetic character arc situation because of that. Because, like, isn't that kind of unfair to blame her for being bloodthirsty when she was literally born to kill people? Like, born to do the murder?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Vaggie changed, but indoctrination and propaganda, I don't know. I just think that, like, especially in this show, where so many people
I don't feel bad
right?
about Adam dying, though. I
don't feel bad for him. I don't care that he died.
I don't feel bad. I mean,
it's a tier system. You feel bad for the asshole who has a person who's an asshole to them. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Because you get, like, it's a double stack of assholeness.
Exactly. You know? And so I hope that, like, I think that Lute may get a redemption arc. I don't think that Husk changed his clothes.
No.
But Angel Dust did. I like Angel Dust's cunty little outfit.
I like how he was like, I'm going to war, I need to put on a fedora.
I like Serpentis. I actually like Cherry Bomb's situation, but I think Cherry Bomb, it should have been Charlie's outfit.
I feel like Cherry Bomb looks like that's the same shirt that Lucifer wears later. So I like to imagine that they boned and she stole his clothing.
Relative sympathy. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so to address the super chat we got earlier, I think that Charlie's outfit is a little weird. I wouldn't say they're all goofy, though.
I like Charlie's
outfit. I'm glad y'all are still alive. You could have been really funny and said, oh, I'm glad y'all are still alive. And I'd be like, me too, I guess.
That's just bringing the mood. Is that funny or is that worrying?
No, I'm okay.
Because I'm worried. Goodness gracious, Cal. I love how,
there's the jazzy music.
I love how, Vox
right
can't stop thinking about
Alistair. Or sorry, Angel Dust. Wait,
no,
Vox?
Vox,
I thought you meant Valentino, because Valentino's on his phone.
But Valentino and Velvet do not really seem to care.
No.
But, Vox looks like he's watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. I think, okay, so again, here's my beef with this episode. I could literally, I don't know, I feel like I should make a whole clickbait video about how Velvet got robbed this season or something, because, should she not be, okay, if I went to an Overlord meeting, and I was like, angels can be killed, and they all were like, no, you're wrong and stupid, go home, right? The first thing I would do when I find out that angels can actually be killed is, record a video of myself and send it to the Overlords being like, yeah, suck my dick, and so I wish that they had done anything with her in this moment, because I guess now they don't know right now, because they're just waiting for the destruction to happen. But even as they're watching them actually kill the angels, she doesn't have a meaningful reaction. So I wonder why. I do still want them to have established the Vees, but the Vees are so pointless this season. You know what I mean? We could have had some really nice payoff here, but it feels like that Velvet challenging Carmilla didn't actually matter at all. You know what I mean? I felt like that could have been anyone now, because Velvet doesn't have a reaction. It could have been Vaggie. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just saying, it could have been Vaggie storming into the meeting, or it could have been Alistair. That's not really in their characters, but you guys understand what I'm saying? When, Charlie could have done that. Somebody else could have done that.
It's just odd that they didn't think to bring it up, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't strike me as obvious, because I think the more, I'm more concerned about,
Right. But, I don't know. It just sort of annoys me. And then in the duet, V does not, Velvet doesn't sing at all.
Wow, Nifty looks like she's just hankering for murder then.
I mean, that's her job, you know?
Yeah, she's just vibrating, right? Waiting to kill people.
But yeah, there's a lot of, again, swear words and stuff, and cannibal people killing each other.
For as much of a big deal they made out of the cannibals, you really don't see them put in work, you know?
I mean, you kind of see them. There is a crowd shot of the cannibals with weapons. where they're supposedly
I feel bad for them because I feel like they're kind of the vanguard chaff pawns of this arrangement, right?
But yeah, just how, like, you know, she's like, oh, it seems like that they appear to have some kind of shield, and he's like, oh, really? I didn't see the big bleeping shield in front of me, you dumb bleep. Like, that's not nice. I know Adam's not a nice person, but, like, put some respect on Lute's name. She's your lieutenant, and I mean, that's even what Sarah says, right? Velvet is my favorite, and she got shafted. It makes the V seem like less of a threat. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Like, but, like... Is that what you want? I don't know. Like, do you want them to be less of a threat, or do you want them to be threatening?
You want to talk about people feeling less of a threat is the angels.
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, they just get kind of like by
cherry
the shield.
bombs blow people up.
Right.
And I guess maybe the bombs have like
angel power.
In them.
Angel shrapnel.
Makes sense. Okay, maybe the angels had bullets, which is why Angel Dust's weapons are effective.
But the fight scenes are cool.
But also, like, when the angels go down and they hit Alistair's wall, they just splat and die instantly.
I think that it's not the wall that was making them splat, but that bombs were going through the wall as they hit the wall, which maybe that wasn't like shown really clearly, but I think that's what happened. To me, it looks like,
I don't know, so it feels like a bit of like a... I also love how Charlie's so enthusiastic and vague. He's like, I love you, babe, but I gotta kill people.
And they are getting through, right? Like, some of them did get through. But yeah, like, you know, something we've brought up too a lot of the time, we lost so many cannibals. Hi, Jum Jams, how's it going? We lost so many cannibals, yes. The only other thing I'm wondering is, like,
in a respectful
That's so fun. In a respectful, not parasocial, as an artist way, like...
Exactly. Covering my ass.
Jum Jams has been, like, messaging me every time they watch my, the song analysis on the other channel, like, oh, I've been watching this while I draw it. I'm like, yes, all according to plan. Because that's where the watch time is, right? Like, people just throwing a YouTube video up and, like, half listening to it while they're playing, like, Minecraft. Like, that's the demographic you want. The artists, the people that just have ADHD and want stuff in the background, like, yeah.
People that cannot, for even a blinking passing
be
moment,
left in their silence, like
be left in their silence with the doom and the impenetrable weight of their own thoughts.
Exactly.
Weight can't be impenetrable. That writing wasn't very good.
You know what I mean. I can't show the V conversation.
He really
Maybe
looks
I
like he's
can,
watching
actually.
a sports game.
Oh yes, perfect. But like,
Velvet,
this is what I mean, right?
Velvet
so
looks frighting. Valentino
by this
looks not
time,
amused.
they should have seen that the angels were dying.
Yeah.
So why is Velvet like, oh my god, I'm not that emotional, Jesus Christ, my throat just hurts. Why do they not care? Like, I don't get it. Like, why don't they care about the fact that she was right? Like, does it not matter? I don't know. Also, I love how the chat is, like, identifying correctly the Nintendo music in the background.
Also, this is like very, I mentioned this earlier when you were away, but this feels very like shonen, like the two bad bosses are like, they're flying and they're fighting and they're being snippy.
Yeah.
It feels really like, this is just an action show now.
But yeah, I really like this. Again, what I was gonna say is that everybody else's magic matches their general color scheme, except for Alistair. Like, you know, Adam's magic is gold, right? And like, he's gold, but for Alistair, it's not. A mortal soul is no match for me, edgelord. You should know better than anyone what a soul can accomplish when they take charge of their own fate. See, this, though, is giving foreshadowing towards just darkness, right? When darkness entered the world for the first time and everything. So, like, does that point more towards the fact that it's Lilith? Because Lilith is the one that brought darkness into the world? Because he didn't make a deal with Lucifer, or else he would have found that out, right? So, I think that, I don't know, there's just some interesting stuff going on that, like, is Alistair, did he make a deal with evil personified, or is Lilith evil personified? You know? Just interesting questions. Velvet being repulsed shows she's not in a poly relationship with Vox and Val. Here's what I heard about that. I heard the streets are saying...
I thought they were siblings.
No, they're not siblings.
Are they...
Hold on. So Vox and Valentino are in a weird situationship. and Velvet has had some sort of on and off again. No, like a fucking related relationship. Like, you know what I mean? That kind, right? A sexual relationship. And that Velvet has sometimes had a sexual relationship with one of them. But it's an on and off again.
Man with a television.
I don't think it's with him. I think that it was the implication was with Valentino, and so they're not in a poly relationship right now, but they're in a sort of
it
poly
appears as though Valentino
situation, right?
I feel like they, are they gay or just business partners?
No, I think they're gay. Like I think that they can. Visby talked about this a couple nights ago when they did the cast thing, and my understanding is that she wanted to clarify something because a lot of people have gone the route of two gay dads and their child, Velvet, which is not the vibe that she intended, apparently. Her vibe was more like people casually fucking each other.
I thought they were siblings.
No. They're not.
So I think I really messed it up then, huh?
You thought Vox and Valentino were siblings? Or Valentino and Velvet?
I thought they were all siblings.
You thought all of them were related?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not... Wait a minute. Even in the other episode?
They were fucking, were they?
But we talked about how, like, Vox is jealous of of Angel Dust. Remember? Did you think that it was in a brother type way, right? Because, like, when they're making the deal, every time that Vox... Like, every time Angel Dust is mentioned, Vox gets a little mad about it. Because Valentino clearly has some sort of obsession with Angel Dust. Does this not ring a bell for you?
I mean, yeah, I know Valentino had a thing, but I didn't think Vox had a thing for Angel Dust.
No, that Vox has a thing for Valentino, Hunter. That's why they're mad every time. Vox is mad every time Angel Dust gets mentioned because it's like Valentino likes Angel Dust or is obsessed with Angel Dust. I just assumed
Vox didn't like anyone other than Valentino and Velvet. I didn't assume they were. Yeah, I assumed they were like siblings.
Okay. I take it you guys don't have the screen grab of Vox and Val with their tongues in each other's mouth? I'm sure we have it somewhere. No, it's at the end of this episode, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure we have it.
Good lord, I've seen this episode like twice.
Velvet discovers information through prodding. Feels cool if Velvet would take advantage about. Yeah. I agree with you, Dana. Sorry that I like half read that. I agree with you, like that Velvet, like it would be. Oh, we've kept on the swear word for a little too long. Anyway, I don't care anymore. It's fine. We got a $10 super chat earlier. I'm sure that's worth the 2 hours of our time. That's like, what, $3 an hour? If Hunter and I split it, I'm sure that's fine. Anyway, if this video gets demonetized, I'm saying. But yeah, there was a moment here where Alistair, the radio thing, went off of his voice.
It breaks, and then, yeah, it was a very funny moment. Yeah.
But yeah, like, like, just love how, like...
excitable that man
disturbed.
is.
Like, they're just so disturbed. And I thought it was funny. I just love that their side commentary, and I love how, Alistair's like, radio's not dead, but it is ending this broadcast. And all of this, again, that we can't show because there's
just the way he's animated, he's Vox is stomping around grumpily. Like, it's just so amusing.
Like, is he? I don't understand what to read of Valentino's, like...
Valentino just
like, vibe right here? Like, he's smiling.
Looks disinterested.
So I'm like, well, no, he's smiling. So I'm like, what is happening? I don't know.
Maybe he finds Vox amusing?
Yeah, maybe he just thinks that it's funny, like, how invested he's getting in all this. But yeah, I like Pentis. No, we see cannibals, Hunter. Maybe it was just a blink and you miss it, but, like, they're feasting. They were around. They were there. But yeah, he's calling out, like where people have to watch their backs, which I didn't notice before.
I think an underrated type of joke is where you take someone with a short name and you extend it.
Like if I called you,
so if I called you Calxiyn, this way, like that's really funny. So Vagatha just makes me giggle so much.
What would I call Hunter? Like, I'm trying to think of something.
Well, because I don't really have a nickname, like...
Right, but I'm trying to think of, like, what extension can I give your name? Like Hunt Xander or something, like, like Alexander, like, just some weird...
It doesn't quite work with my name.
No, I don't think it does. Chat, if you guys have any suggestions to rename Hunter...
I also love that, like, before Charlie's like a little sheepish about killing them, but then all the angels look like they're about to kill Vaggie, so she blows him to shit. And then she has a cute little look as she's hiding under her shield.
Guys, that's a nickname. Honey Badger. If your girlfriend called you Honey Badger, would you like that or no?
It's fair because I originate in the UK and I burrow into holes. No, I wouldn't appreciate that. You Honey Badger, I don't think. I think if I would find it funny, like people picking...
But if somebody earnestly...
wanted to call me Honey Badger.
Like if we were dating and I called you, like, oh, my little Honey Badger, like, from work, I made cookies or something, I don't know, like...
First off, you can't bake.
No, I
Secondly...
can't. I know, in this twisted scenario
in
is
the
what
scenario
I'm saying.
where we exist,
Yeah,
in a weirdly
50s,
yeah, exactly, except we're
saying.
gay and trans, like, sure,
Yeah.
I guess you could call me Honey Badger.
I'm just saying. Like,
I guess that's, I don't know, I've never really had very many nicknames.
Please, yeah, I don't.
Hunter, because my name already is a little odd, so.
Yeah,
Hunter.
I don't like nicknames for anything.
Literally go by Cal.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's a shortening. If you called me like Callie Wally, like I'd be like, go fuck up. Like, don't tell me that. What the hell? Like, don't ever say that to me. What do you mean? Some people call me Callie, and I'm like, no, that's not my name. Like, Callie is not a nickname. It is somebody else's name. Yeah. Don't call me that. Yeah. That's weird. Don't do that. That's fair. Like,
I'm trying
also
to
the YouTube comments that call me Caitlin because they think that they've cracked the code and that Caitlin was my real name. Like, do you...
When
like,
I first met you, I thought your name was Caitlin.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying...
It was a very loud cafeteria.
That always strikes me as funny, not because...
Calculator! Oh my god! I don't know who Trey is, but they're brilliant. Calculator! Oh, my little calculator.
But yeah, like, okay.
Do you want to do polynomial functions?
No! I'm terrible at math. What was I gonna say? I forgot. Calcifer. Now,
calcium.
Oh, right. So when people are like,
who's my little calcium deficiency?
Like, you know,
do we have soft
They
bones?
call me Caitlin because they think that's my name. Like, just because it's my YouTube username is Calxiyn, like my name could be like Rebecca. Like, you don't know. Like, it's just my username. So like people are like, I cracked the code. I'm gonna call her Caitlin so she knows I figured out her real name. And it's like, that's not my name either.
Unless
my name's
like,
close to Caitlin, but that's not my name.
But also, like, it wouldn't take that much work to figure out what
it
your
wouldn't, really.
God name
but
is.
then they figure it out, and it's wrong. Like, you can just go watch Arnold's stream. He name drops me by accident all the time. Anyway, there's a joke about, like, you know, coming in here
right
with Angel Dust and Husk.
Other.
I thought that was funny.
This
whole scene of, like, the egg is in the corner just reminds me of, like, when LeFou has the gun or the sword or whatever it is up to, like, Cogsworth, and then Lumiere comes in from above and saves him or something. And so, yeah, I thought that was just pretty
I also remember when Lumiere
metal.
gets a machine gun and
well, there is a very French gun.
Man.
Like, there's a musket or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a gun in the movie.
Ugh, the French gun.
I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, the old type of gun. I don't know what they are. I don't know anything about guns, Hunter.
Musket, you're right, they're musket.
But yeah, they thought that Alistair was, like, actually dead because the shield is gone. But yeah, I love how Pentis has this, like, thing with Cherry Bomb and, like, their little kiss. I thought that this was cute.
That was cute.
Them.
I like how she has her leg up. It's such a wonderful, like...
Katie? It's not Katie either. Yeah, if you called me Katie, I'd be like, who the heck is that? Like, that's even further. Like, we're getting further from God. But yeah, I thought that this was nice, the kiss scene. And I don't know, I do ship them. And, like, I was just like, oh, that was kind of hot. Like, I thought that was cute. But, like, I mean, I know it was supposed to be anticlimactic and stuff, and, like, that was part of the joke. But I just don't know, like, what do you think, Hunter? Because to me, it just doesn't kind of land, because this scene has been treated as serious pretty much the entire time, and that they're fighting for their lives. So the fact that, like, Adam's like, that could have been really bad, and it's like a joke, I don't know, I didn't really find that funny.
It works for me personally, I'm okay with that. I just think I think Pentis is just so silly that it kind of had to be a little
slip silly. There, you said Cal before you said Pentis, so you're thinking about me.
I was thinking about Calcifer.
Calcifer.
Because I'm trying to think of a different terrible name. So out of nowhere I can just be like, I don't know.
Anyway, what do you think about the scene? Sorry, I like caught you in 4K.
Anyways, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know, right? This was jarring, but I didn't personally mind. Thank you, chat, for getting us back on track here. I did mind.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was funny. And also, I feel like the whole, like, wow, you did something fun, but also, like, you did something, like... Heroic, but I'm too strong. Fucking deal.
And they all react so dramatically, too. Which I'm glad that that's what they did. But, mean, like...
Nifty just kind of looking, you know?
Is she? Maybe this thing about Nifty being... I don't know, she looks a little concerned. At least a little concerned.
I think that the big secret will be, like, Nifty
is God,
can turn into a giant monster that, like, devours worlds.
But yeah, like,
she's like Galactus.
I don't even know if I like this idea that Charlie only brought out the big guns after someone had already died. Like, I know that it's a very, like anime trope sort of thing, but it kind of annoys me because you're telling me that this death could have been prevented if you had just changed into your demon form a little bit faster. I don't know. Like, I think that that's kind of weird, don't you? Like this idea that, oh, well, she's only doing it now. Also, we have a very bloody razzle-dazzle moment right there. But yeah, like, I just think that that's... It's cringe to be like, I'm gonna use the power I was saving up because my friend died, and it's like, well, maybe if you did that earlier, your friend wouldn't have died. Like, I don't know. So that always bothers me.
But I just feel like that's the nature of Charlie. She doesn't really want to go ham.
Yeah, I guess.
Which,
but I'm like, but shouldn't you go ham when people are trying to kill you?
I don't know.
But yeah, this fight scene, though, was really well choreographed. It's so up close and
gnarly and stabby and bitey, I dig it.
Yeah, I know, she bangs her head against a table. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was just, it was crazy. But yeah, like, this is what I'm like, this is fine that she, you know, fell here and stuff, but I really like the trident.
I really like, this seems so horny, your baby.
I like how she's like, oh, well, that's, you know, princess of hell to you, pig, like, after he calls her girly.
I also like how Adam has a very distinct color palette and also a very distinct silhouette.
Yeah.
So he looks very apart from all the people he's fighting.
Yeah.
And it makes the sort of silhouettes of the fight really nice.
Whereas you see, right, that Vaggie is dressed like Loot, kind of, like the same costume. But I kind of like that because they're... I like that too.
They're tight, because it's the different kind. If you want a big dramatic fight with big sweeping moves, then you want that distinction. If you want like a tight, gnarly, like bloody, up-close, chaotic fight, then it's okay if it's less distinct. I feel. I don't know shit about shit, but I have a YouTube channel,
so what did you say about... You didn't like that she made the balcony fall?
Yeah, so
as opposed to just stabbing her?
Instead of just stabbing her, and I understand it was like, oh, she wants to like not be an exterminator anymore. The reason why she ended up where she is because she feels sympathy for people. She gives people mercy. So it makes sense, but I think it would have been cool to have her like jump up with her wings out and stab her.
Maybe. I don't think that was it. I thought that it was that she wanted, like, she was using what Carmilla said and she was trying to use her smarts. Like, I thought it was about her being smart or not. Al doesn't fight Adam with an angelic weapon, which is weird. I wanted to say more, but something I said apparently got the message auto-blocked. Okay, well, it was probably just like sword or blood or violent. I don't know, violence.
Wait, who's Al?
Alistair.
Alistair, right.
Yeah, so Alistair doesn't fight with an angelic weapon.
Alistair's just that powerful.
I guess maybe he wasn't trying to kill Adam? Cause...
Maybe thought his magic was strong enough.
Well, wait a minute. Here's the tea. Here's the real tea, okay? What if the reason why he doesn't use an angelic weapon to fight Adam is because he knows that Lilith and Adam have a deal, and that's where she went 7 years ago. And he knows that if they kill Adam, that the deal will be void, and so he doesn't want that to happen. He wanted Adam to like run home like a little girl. He didn't want Adam to actually live. And
I mean, I think they also, but just
maybe they forgot.
Maybe they forgot.
But that would kind of make sense to me. Yeah. I think so, right? Because then it's like, oh, we wanted you to run away.
In all fairness, like the angels hit Alistair's magic and like break their necks.
Right. So maybe like, it's his magic is infused with whatever.
His magic is just, excuse me, that good.
Yeah, Hunter was hiccuping earlier. It's gonna happen again. But like, yeah, do you know what I mean though? But they like Alistair's been gone for 7 years, Lilith has been gone for 7 years. Like, I know that maybe I'm reading too much into things with that idea, but maybe it was intentional. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Lazu. Like, what if it was intentional? What if the idea was, and that's why Alistair said that he'll handle Adam, because Alistair has a deal with Lilith, and Adam dying would make things harder for Alistair and for what Alistair wants. So I think that we're actually cooking. I think that you and I, like, we are cooking, I think. But yeah, like, I like this. I really liked this scene. I thought that that was pretty, like, metal and everything, but I think that there is a swear word after the failure. But yeah, just her arm ripping off was so
It's
Ruby.
so
Like, so
gnarly.
Yang getting her arm cut off and Ruby
It really, because, like, the gold and the blood and the red background, they look very similar.
Yeah, so Vaggie comes running at first, but then Loot actually, I didn't notice this before. This happened so fast I didn't even notice
Loot
that
jumps
that's why
and
Vaggie
fights her.
doesn't come to help, is that Loot still jumps with her arm cut off, which I didn't notice. But I do agree with Hunter and I think we said this in private, so you guys have no reference for this at all. But I do agree with the idea that, like, Vaggie should have caught her the second time because Lucifer already did it the first time, right? But I guess the idea is that she's
I will say that, like,
Luke
weirdly,
somewhere.
Lucifer is kind of badass in this, which is crazy for a little, like, short king who dresses like Orville Rettenbacher.
Yeah.
You know?
I did like the joke about, like, I'm gonna, like, beep instead of bleep you up. Right? And so
Dad, it's fucked you up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And,
And
like,
then he
this
gets
got
hit.
interesting. Like, I love how, why is she excited? Like, what is
I
happening?
think everyone just has a thing for Satan, you know?
Maybe that's why, I don't know. Because they do say, like, that Lucifer is the hottest guy in hell or something. Like, they do talk about that. So maybe it's like a little voyeurism thing. Like, it's not actually.
What did I say? And
you know what I mean? Like, it's just the idea of watching the King of Hell fuck someone, maybe, is that the appealing part.
Maybe he just, whenever he hears the word fuck in kind of, like, sexual
Well, no,
capacity.
even Velvet, I mean, I'm well, I don't know what's going on.
I like to think that in hell, everyone thinks Lucifer is hot.
Yeah. And so I like their little conversation here. You're judging me, you're the most hated being in all creation, while your first wife didn't seem to hate what I had to offer, or the second. So, okay, people think that this is referencing the apple. Do people not understand what bow chicka wow wow means anymore? Because that is a sexual
Back
connotation.
in my day, we all understood that bow chicka wow wow
right? And
is
so
what
I
plays
understand.
during
Like, some people are like, oh, well, you know, it's supposed to be like a reference to her giving the apple, like to him giving her the apple.
I think he gave her more than the apple.
I think he gave her more than the apple, too. Like, that's what I think, right? I think he also did that. And so I am surprised that people are like, oh, wait, like, he didn't sleep with Eve. It was just about the apple. I'm like, I think it was more than the apple, guys. I think it was more. And there's this whole, like, whole theory right now, too, that, that should have been mentioned in this scene to make it clear, because it's kind of weird. I guess so, but I think that we may get it more later, because some people think that it's not Lilith in the flashbacks, but it's actually Eve at some points. And, like, there's this whole theory that Eve and Lilith look very similar, or may even look like twins, because they were both kind of Adam. Like, I know Lilith was from the mud, but whatever. Like, Adam made his second wife a perfect copy of his first wife. And so there's this theory going around that I just made up right now because
going around my head and several. I talk to my other personalities, and they all think it's a great idea too. So I'm going to share it with you guys now.
There's a theory going around that Lilith is pretending to be Eve or vice versa, right? That's what's going around. My theory is that they look identical because Adam made them look identical. Nobody else has said that as far as I know. I'm the first one to have brought that
Isaiah
up.
says that Lucifer gave her the whole tree, which I enjoy.
I mentioned something about Dad showing up late and it was important. Oh no, the messages, YouTube, that's weird. Like, I can't see, like, in the back end, usually it'll tell me why somebody's message gets, why someone's message gets held for review, and usually, oh wait, it doesn't matter, we have the cover on. Bestie? Okay, yeah. We can't tell. I'm sorry that we can't see the message. Try to rephrase it in a different way. I don't know. Like, maybe it's, like, I don't know what it would be.
I mean, we are talking about people trying to kill each other.
Yeah, maybe that's why. But yeah, But yeah, I really like this
whenever he
scene.
turns into an animal, it's like an animal. It reminds me of Cosmo and Wanda.
Oh my god.
From
that
Fairly
was funny.
Odd Parents, where it's like they'll turn into animals, but you can tell clearly one is green and one is pink.
So yeah, see, like when Charlie falls the second time,
it should have been Vaggie.
It should have been Vaggie. Like, you already caught her. Like, I guess they needed to set up this.
Yeah,
but at least one of them should have been Vaggie. I don't know. Because, like, you brought the wings in, and the wings are broadly meaningless. They don't even help her in the fight with Loot whatsoever. So I think that that was just a missed opportunity, kind of like the Velvet stuff.
Good.
Like, this shot is really dope.
But also, this shot and its Vaggie is very good as well.
Yeah, like in that
like
theory.
Lucifer can still be down here.
Yeah, and like Lucifer can still mess somebody up, but like I feel like that, and I understand because I understand because Lucifer and Charlie's relationship is important, but that's important like after episode 6, 7, 5, right? And so like Vaggie and Charlie should have had that moment because the whole show up until this point has been about them, not about Lucifer. So I think that that's a little, I don't know. Like, I'm fine with him participating.
They just
I think
wanted
that the
to have
ending
the
shot
kind
should
of
have
badass
been Vaggie.
image of the two of them with fire in their eyes.
I guess, but they could have had
good
another image, right? They could have done it twice. I don't see why not, so that just sort of annoyed me a little bit. Dad showing up late was weird, but the theory is his hands were tied until Adam attacked Charlie, which broke his contract. Oh, right.
Oh.
Because attacking Charlie would go against some sort of saying Hellborn get a pardon as mentioned in episode 1. I don't remember the idea of the Hellborn being pardoned, but maybe that was in the pilot. So that was the idea. Is they're not allowed to kill people
they don't
born
touch
in
the
hell.
Yeah, that's
oh,
what it was.
right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it could also just be like an alliance because of Charlie and who Charlie is. Right? And so there's also that. Like, it doesn't even need to be the Hellborn specifically. It can be any of them. You know what I mean? Like, any of them as long as they're angels. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
And so it could just be, like, Charlie in
right.
general. But yeah. But yeah, I love Adam's ending speech, even though we can't show it because it's a little too unhinged.
And he gets stabbed through the chest by
Yeah,
Nifty.
I love that Nifty's the one that did it. And she just keeps stabbing.
They really gave her a lot of frames of animation where her golden blood's going everywhere and she's losing her mind.
Yeah, I know.
Oh god, I love
They
this
should have mentioned it in the show, yeah, I mean, that's my problem with the show is that everything is mentioned in something that is never seeming to be the thing that we actually... You know what I mean? Like, it's never the thing that we actually saw or the thing that we actually
But no,
watched.
it is mentioned in the, like, very early on.
In the pilot?
Yeah.
Maybe they
Not
just...
the pilot, even, like, the first or second.
I don't remember that being in...
No, it was... I recall it.
I don't remember that being in episode 1, but, like, they should have reminded us, though, because episode 1 was, like, years ago. It feels like years, even though the show came out so slowly. The only reason you're alive and in hell is because Daddy gave you and your Hellborn kind a pardon from the Exorcist blade. Oh, that's what it was. I thought that see, that's the problem, is I interpreted that something different. Like... I don't know, like just the idea that it was, he negotiated just for Charlie's sake, not all of them, right? So it's all of the Hellborn, yeah, you and your Hellborn kind. I think the problem is that the show has not properly established Hellborns very well, because you sort of get the impression that Charlie's the only one, but we know that from from Hell of a Boss that that's not true. So I think that that's maybe the problem, is that it's not even vagueness, it's just the idea that like the show never introduced the concept of a Hellborn at all. And so from my perspective, I'm like, oh, well, they're just talking about Charlie and maybe Lilith, I don't know, like maybe another person, right? As opposed to that there's a whole Hellborn population just chilling around. But yeah, I feel bad for Loot. I know that she's a bad person, but I just feel bad for her. I feel bad for how much she cares about him, clearly. Also, her bone is just bone. Like, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, that is pretty gnarly.
Like, her bone is just out of her arm, right? And, like, I don't know. Please. I feel like this was more funny than threatening, but maybe that was supposed to be the point. See how she grabs his thing, though? I'm wondering about that just because, like, is that about rank? Or, like, can she actually do something with that? Because...
Or it's maybe just to, like, prove a point of, like, this is what's left of Adam.
Yeah, maybe. I just wonder if she'll give it to someone. Because, like, what if that's, like, their security chip to, like, get around, right? Because it is, like, silver, and it's kind of different than the one that she has, so I don't know. But yeah, I love this, like, who's up for pancakes? Okay, so we can't show some of this because there's bad things in the headlines. But yeah, like, see, this is what I'm saying. Even on, like, even on the Extermination Day, should have been canceled situation. Yeah, they take Vaggy's Halo in her flashback. That's why I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is that important? Can you give it? Is that how Lilith got into heaven or something? They gave, like, can you, I don't know, like, does hell have a certain amount of population and that population is tracked? So if you wanted to sneak someone like Lilith into heaven, do you need a halo from an angel who has, like, who's not around? And so, like, the chip just reads as, like, Lilith is a regular angel running around, but we don't know that. But yeah, I just wish that during the scene where they talked about, like, Charlie, like, fended off the attack, and here's everybody, and everyone's right here, and I guess I can show this part because this is fine, right? Like, you know, and Rosie, and we check in with V, like, you should be like, yeah, I did it, I knew that you could defeat the angel, like, I'm just, like, so,
like,
she does not care, I don't like it, I think it's bad.
Just like, yeah, look at this.
It makes me sad. I don't know. Like, oh, also, I think that now Adam's dead, maybe they won't be able to make any more exorcists, and that's also going to be some sort of conflict at some point.
Perhaps.
Like, just this idea that, all of the exorcists came from Adam, so you can't just make more. And so I think that that might be interesting. What are your theories on Adam becoming a sinner after perishing? Yeah, I can see that happening because my controversial theory is that even when the sinners die, they don't actually die. I know that that's what the show says happens, but nobody really knows. Because, like, what is it then? Like, that after you die and are killed by the exorcist, you just, like, cease? You know what I mean? You just cease to exist?
I guess so.
Which is fine. Here's what I think. I think that every time you die, you're recycled in some way. And you're, the depending on your recycling depends on how you died. So, when Pentis dies, because it's like take two, or like his soul has been weighed again afterward. Like, you know what I mean? If your soul can only be weighed in death, you have to die again to get back into heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happened is that Pentis died and then went to heaven because his soul was rejudged. So Adam, it would be the same thing. I think when sinners die, I know that they say that they are just dead. I think that they either go back to Earth, like reincarnation, or they go back to hell again, but just don't have their memories. Like they become hellborn. That's my personal theory. I don't think any of the souls are actually gone forever. I think that that's gonna be sort of the twist, is it's like, you do this because you think that now your soul is worthy of being weighed like angel dust, but that angel dust will need to risk dying to do it, and if he dies unsuccessfully, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, you'll forget everything about who you are. Kind of like, I guess, the tree from Ruby, right? So that's what I'm sort of imagining, is this situation where, like, they find out that the only way to get judged and your soul to be re-weighed is to die, but they can't die unless it's by the exorcist. So the exorcists need to kill you, but then there's the risk of, like, you really have to believe in yourself.
Well, he was
that you
killed
have done
by
the work.
Adam, so maybe...
Well, that's what I mean. You have to be killed by an angel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I think that maybe that's what's happening. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
it's a possibility.
Because before I was like, well, did Pentis stop? Like, did Pentis only get in because Adam is now not the deciding gatekeeper or the example of what a human should be like, or whatever?
Supernatural taught us, there is super hell.
I guess so. But you know what I mean? Like, we had this idea of, oh, Adam was the benchmark for what makes a good person, and now that Adam's gone, that's why Pentis got in. I've kind of changed my mind since our reaction. I feel like that maybe it's that Adam, because Adam's the one that killed Pentis, Pentis' soul was re-weighed again. And if he was not a good person, what would have happened is that he would have been reincarnated some other way. But yeah, I feel like the Halo, you guys are right, that is probably for some kind of cliffhanger type moment. But yeah, I'm sad that this like amounted to nothing. Like, I don't know, I don't like that. I like the joke with Nifty coming back. I thought that was clever. I like Charlie told me to stab, so I did. Like, I like how we, you know, check in with everyone. I feel like that they should have evacuated the animals out of the hotel first. You know what I mean? But yeah, seeing the Pentis sign is so, like, messed up. I think that now there's probably no more swearing, so I think we'll be good to just go on until the end. But yeah, I really, like, I like this song because I feel like that this is one of the more well-constructed ones in the show, and that obviously it's also referencing Happy Day in Hell, and I think that the pattern is the same too, so I felt like that was really good. I don't know how I feel about Avoided and Destroyed It, but whatever. Like, she sells it, right? Like, that's the part, like, that's the important part, is that you gotta sell me. You know what I mean? To some extent, because it and Avoided, I guess it depends, avoid it, right? Like, you could say it that way, but anyway, I think it's okay. Like, it convinces me, I'm convinced. The problem with Stayed Gone and some of the other songs is that they don't do it very convincingly, right? I don't know how I feel about this. Like, why the frown? Your friend died. What do you mean? Like, father? What are you talking about? Like, I know what he means. Like, why are you frowning? Like, yeah, there were lives lost, but, like, you did accomplish change. I just feel like that's such an insensitive thing. Why are you sad because your friend died? Even though your friend died, all the other bad things happen. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, what do you mean?
I understand that a close friend of yours that you helped become a better person died.
It just feels
Have you considered that we can remodel?
Like, it feels a little strange. I wonder if the writer for the song didn't know that Pentis was gonna die here, and that's why they were singing, and it was just like, okay, this is the final song of the show. You know, there were some wins and some losses, like, and so they wrote based off of that, as opposed to kind of knowing that that's why, because that's why she's sad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I guess he doesn't know. Yeah, I guess Jum Jams, you're right, because Lucifer hadn't shown up yet. But, like, still, that's a weird thing to say. But I guess it's fine. Like, everything else is fine. Like, I like the sentiment of the song. It's just kind of like, if they were, I don't know, if they were like, Ruby, why are you sad about the fact that Penny died? You did zap Cinder with your silver eyes. Like, that's how it feels. Like, you know, explain this in a way Ruby fans can understand. Like, it just feels like that to me, where it's like, why are you sad that Pyrrha died right in front of you? At least you stopped Cinder. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? But yeah, I know it's supposed to be encouraging. So the sentiment of the song is fine. When you put the lyrics beside the fact that they're talking about Pentis, I'm kind of like, but whatever. Like, I can ignore that.
I mean, because, like, what other version of the song they're gonna do? The biggest baby girl we've ever met died horribly in a suicide mission against the first man. You kind of have to play with the
I guess, but they could have said, like, you know, like, Pentis would have wanted you to keep trying.
I mean, Nifty looks happy.
I guess.
Nifty's pretty unbothered.
You know what I noticed? Someone said something very interesting, and that Husk doesn't sing usually in the other songs, except for Loser Baby, where he sings with Angel. But he doesn't sing in the other group numbers because he's like, not about that, right? But he sings here because he thinks that Alistair is dead.
Yeah.
And he's happy because he's like, yeah, I'm free.
That's one thing I say I don't love about this song, is that everyone assumes that Alistair is dead and that Alistair being dead is a big deal, but then he just kind of pops back in the middle of the song. But yeah,
you guys are right. Like, Lucifer's not the best, like,
I guess
emotionally.
Alistair's back here. We're not going to really mention that at all.
Yeah, that does bother me too.
It just sort of slipped in weirdly, and everyone seems to not notice.
This is what people were like, this is so, like, this would slap if it was in My Little Pony. And I'm like, well, come on, guys. That's the point of a musical. It needs to be earnest, right? Like, you have to, like, I don't know. Maybe this is just more optimistic.
Also, Pinkie Pie could kill God, and none of the plot of this would even matter.
Hazbin Hotel was not, like, ever making fun of musicals. No. Hazbin Hotel is an actual musical. I think that the idea of, like, oh, like, this is too earnest for the show comes from people that, like, look at the show and they think that it's like South Park or something. Like, they think that it's a satire. Like, the show is not a satire. So, yeah, of course. Hell You Own It is in relation to Sir Pentis from Lucifer. Hell You Owe It. Hell You Owe It? Hold on. You can't quit now, hell you owe it. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. That's in relation, like you owe it to Pentis to, but like, that's such a, like a vague line.
Yeah, it's unspecific.
It needs to be a bit more specific in my opinion. But yeah, like I thought that this was nice. Like as long as I've got all of you with me, like that was sweet. This is very like Waitress, which is fitting because that's what the musical Nifty was in. But like, see all the eyes on the concrete and stuff? I feel like that those eyes are what's watching Alistair. Like the entire time. Like I feel like that those are and nobody ever comments on them or anything. Also Lucifer with the Keyblade.
Oh my gosh, that is a Keyblade. You know what? I've been to Catholic church and I've seen big keys, so maybe that is a thing. Like in the stained glass murals.
But I really like how even Cherry Bomb's here helping.
Yeah.
But yeah, Husky's actually singing because he's probably like, yeah! Okay. After the battle, masterless cattle. Okay.
Battle cattle.
Okay, sure. But like, I guess he's talking about the public then, right? Overlords hanging by a thread. With a bit of bravado, maybe tomorrow we'll be atop the heap. See, okay.
Wait, instead. It should have said atop the heap instead.
Yeah, like that's what I was like. Better. I was like, wait a minute, where did thread go?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because I don't think head and heap were supposed to rhyme, but like, I was expecting them to say, like, dead. Like, something about Alistair being dead. So when they're like, because like, battle and cattle
the
rhyme.
Keyblade is actually the black cat that Charlie has.
Oh, I see. That's funny. Because we have battle and cattle, and then we have thread. So, and then bravado and tomorrow, right? Like, if we're talking about structure, battle, cattle, and then thread, right? Bravado tomorrow, which is kind of bad, but whatever. Like, the ending thing should also rhyme, because they set up an expectation. I'm like, what is this?
We'll be atop the heap instead, and then thread and instead rhyme.
I don't know.
But they just didn't do it.
Well, the rest of hell's pissing. Alistair's missing. Fled with the tail between his legs. Nature abhors a power which I don't know how I feel about that line. It leaves room for you and me. The future of hell belongs to the Vees. I'm like, what happened? I don't know, like something weird. I don't know, I guess legs doesn't rhyme with anything either, but like, just, this is not acceptable. Like, I don't understand what they were trying to do. Anyway, I think that, like, I do like this part though. Like, I like the part melodically. Like how they're, like the actual vocal line, but I'm like, I don't understand. I can't wait to talk about this song. But I'm like, why did they, I do like how they actually like slides through. Nature abhors a power vacuum is weird because, like, okay.
I mean, that's the truth. Like, I've heard power abhors a vacuum.
Or,
I've heard that
no,
phrase.
it's nature abhors a vacuum.
Okay, I've also heard power abhors them.
So, like, power vacuum, I don't know, it's weird. Some people, like, I keep getting people, like, arguing with me with Vox is he's supposed
nature
to be...
abhors a power vacuum. I think it's nature abhors a vacuum. Power abhors a vacuum. It's not nature abhors a power vacuum.
Yeah.
That's kind of mixing them. Like, and it's like blood on your face. Like, it's not wrong, but it's also not right.
Yeah, like, people are arguing with me on my Vox video, and they're like, well, Vox is supposed to be stupid. Vox is supposed to be this. Vox is supposed to be that. And I'm like, well, I don't get that. Because, especially in the scene before Stayed Gone, we have Vox, like, effortlessly manipulating Valentino and the media, right? And so, like, I never got the idea that Vox was stupid. So some people have excused this line by saying that Vox is stupid, and so this is him using the term wrong. Like, there's only so many excuses you guys can make, you know what I mean? Especially not, like, it's not only Vox who does the weird things. And they never portrayed Vox as stupid. Like, sure, you can say that he's scatterbrained when he finds out that Alistair's back. But even then, my argument is that they should have made a clean course with him and then show a descent into insanity. Because, like, he shouldn't be off his game at the beginning of his own song. He should be confident, and it should only be after Alistair starts to pull his viewers that he gets scrambled. So to start off scrambled just seems like a mistake. And it's this sort of situation, but in this little bit, it's like, he's supposed to be stupid. I don't think so. I think that they're just, because they do this a lot. Like,
yeah.
Your medium's bloody rare, the sugar on the cream, the blood on the face. Even Alistair says something 5 seconds from now that is also term, and nature abhors a vacuum is a real term. I don't know if you can put those things
and
together.
Power abhors, yeah, so it's just kind of, it's like, it's the blood on your face thing. It's not wrong.
Yeah, like, it's not wrong, but it's,
so
like,
it just
weird.
feels like, you know?
Like...
16 songs, 8 weeks.
And, like, Velvet sings nothing. I guess they couldn't afford her to come back. I don't know where she went. Okay, this place reeks of death. There's a chill in the air, and I barely escaped being killed by a hair. I thought that was, like, at first I was like, but it's fine. I decided that's fine. The great Alistair Altruist died for his friends. All right, here's the thing, right? People think now that Altruist is his last name because they capitalize
just means that you're altruistic when you worry about other people.
Yeah, and
yourself.
Let's clarify right now that they're saying that, like, that's a title. Like, the great Alistair the Altruist. Like, that's something that you would say about a person in memoriam. Yeah. Right? They're saying, no, I did not die for my friends or for anyone. Ends and friends is fine. I'm hungry like freedom. I'm hungry for freedom like never before. The constraints of my deal, surely you have a back door. I don't think that he says you have a back door. I think he just says, surely have a back door. I don't know where the you came from. Amazon really dropped the ball. People are saying that in Stayed Gone, it's brand new Dawn as in Mafia Dawn and not brand new Dawn, but every official material I have found says Dawn. I don't know what's going on. They capitalized his name like it's his last name. I know, right? And so, like, they had to clarify on Twitter that, I don't know.
He's just
People are just weird. People are just weird. Like, this subtitle's just wrong. I don't know what is happening. But, okay, here's my thing with Backdoor. You guys can debate about this until I make the video about the finale. Maybe you guys can tell me. Backdoor, as far as I'm aware, did not exist as a, like, saying until computers. Like, a backdoor in a computer is like a security flaw. Like, if you're saying that you know...
I think the word we're looking for is loophole.
Right,
but
yeah, we want loophole, which doesn't rhyme with before, but, like, I know what they wanted to do, but this is another one of those things where it's like people, you know, with the other stuff is like, well, Vox is just stupid, but, like, what's your excuse for this? Because this is computer language, you know what I mean? Like, this is a tech thing. As far as I know, because we looked it up before we, you know, recorded, I can only find backdoor being used as a term as late as the 1980s. In terms of, you have, like there's a backdoor in your security, or, like, again, not to bring up Ruby, but Watts leaves himself a backdoor or something so he can get back into the system because he coded it in the first place. So, like, this doesn't make sense for Alistair to say, because, like, just, I know he knows what stuff is because he's around technology, but he hates technology. Like, I looked it up and I couldn't find it outside of computers. I know that it's, like, through the back door, like, in a secret or indirect way.
Yeah,
but, like,
but it originated...
But I think it originated for computer. Like, I know what it means.
Like, backdoors
existed,
use it
now.
But, like, as a term to, like, as a loophole, as, like, a kind of a term for a loophole or a way to get a backdoor into hidden off, blocked off.
Like, it's not like in medieval times.
Yeah.
They were saying
that,
the back door of the tavern.
Because we Googled it.
Because I know what you guys mean.
And that's
like,
where
in
the
terms
phrase,
of, like, that's what it means.
Black doors,
like,
obviously existed beforehand, but the term of backdoor as, like, a sneaky way around...
of getting out of something.
Of something.
That's why I'm like...
That comes about with computer programming in the 80s, and we literally Googled it because we were so...
Yeah.
We were
and so I'm like, we can all debate about it until it comes
But that's
back.
another one of the things, right? Where it's kind of like, it's the blood on the face. It's like, oh, that's not incorrect. Like,
I mean, it's incorrect for me because I'm like, well, Alistair, he wouldn't say that. I wonder if they knew that's where the saying came from. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm wondering too, because, like, there's a whole, like, in Wikipedia of, like, oh, like, this is, like, computer worms, like, object code backdoors, asymmetric backdoors, compiler backdoors, occurrences, countermeasures, and, like, there's nothing that links, like, backdoor to, like, in William Shakespeare, they use back door in the back door of the tavern. Because you guys are right, like, it's like, now the way that we use it is like a way to get...
It's been shifted
out
by
of
her.
something, like, you know what I mean? But, like, back door is sort of like a sneaky way to exit or infiltrate, right? So it can be infiltrate both ways. It can be to get out or to get in. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of works as a placeholder for a loophole, but it's a little, you know?
But yeah, like, I've tried to find, like, did backdoor exist before computers? Or, like, did backdoor attacks, or, like, I don't know, like, because if you're not talking about computers, like, what are you talking about? The back door of a house? You know? Like, that's what you would think, like, a back door in real life. So, like, you guys are right. Like, it does mean a way to get out, but it's sort of in the same way that, like, you know, swiping right on someone only means finding them attractive because of Tinder. Like, it's a colloquialism that we use, but it's only one that we use because of technology. It didn't exist before the computers did, as far as I know. So,
Yeah.
You look like you're zoning out.
No,
again.
I'm zoning out again. Third time. Yeah,
I know. So I think that this line is a little suspicious. They should have just said loophole. I don't understand. Because, like, what they could have said was, like, I'm hungry, like, for the freedom of my soul. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like, my soul to be free. And then if they said loophole, I would have been like, okay. You know what I mean? I would have to make sure that it fits in the syllable counts, but, like, you could, you know...
We could work it out.
Work it out where, like, they could have said, like, I'm hungry for my soul to be free, basically, you know, and do soul at the end, and then have loophole, because that's what you want. You want a contractual loophole. I don't think contracts have back doors. Contracts have loopholes.
Yeah, so it's not quite there.
I don't know, I don't like it, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
He really
Once I figure out how to unclip my wings, this is another one where I don't love it.
We looked up if you could unclip your wings, could you?
Unclip a bird's wings. Wings will grow back and you have to decide whether or not to clip them again. I don't know if it's like the same as cats. I don't know anything about cats. If you declaw a cat, do the claws grow back? Yeah, so for birds, it's not permanent. The wings will grow back and then you have to decide whether or not you want them reclipped. So this is just, I know what they wanted to do, but I'm just like, this doesn't make sense to me. Because, like, you can say that somebody has clipped your wings, but, like, you can't figure out how to unclip your wings. It's just something that happens naturally in nature. I know it's a metaphor, but it's just kind of, you suck. I don't know. I like Guess Who Will Be Pulling All the Strings, though. I think that that's a great line. But, like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you guys are right in terms of, like, other music.
Is unclip my wings a common
saying? Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard
in pop music.
Okay. Wow.
I think a lot of pop artists do it, but I'm just like, I don't know. It just annoys me. You guys are right. Like, it does happen. I can think of other songs that have used it. I just kind of hate it for that reason, because I'm like, well, you can't. Like, it's not like, people don't understand that, like, it's not like you have a safety pin or, like, you know those hangers that you hold up your pants with and they, like, open and then you clip your pants in them? Like, that's not what happens. You cut part of the bird's wing off. You're not actually, like, putting a safety clip on them or something, or, like, you know, those little, like, tongs that you use to close the chip bag, right? Like, you're actually doing damage. So I know it's something that people say, but, like, it doesn't work. Because, like, you can close a bag, you can clip and unclip a bag of chips. You cannot clip and unclip wings, like a body part. So that just sort of, anyway, I don't know what they could have done instead of strings, but I'm sure if I think about it longer, I'll figure it out. Because I'll rewrite it somehow. I don't know. I mean, strings has other rhymes, but I did like that, though. I liked Alistair's part vocally. It's kind of like, I like the Vees part vocally, but lyrically, I'm like, come on, you guys.
I love that they're all saluting him.
Yeah, so you can actually say, watch this, okay? Husk is, like, living his best life,
and then everyone's
I saw a hilarious
and he
video
seems angry.
where it had, like, I don't know, the Pokemon sound effect, like when you find a Pokemon, or, like, the Metal Gear Solid, like, ding noise, like, oh, it was so funny.
It is kind of weird. They're just like, oh, he's back. He's not dead. You know, and he see like Everyone's kind of happy except for even Nifty.
I think Nifty she's freaked out because she
happy
she thought he was dead. You know what I mean? And then she's happy.
She's happy.
So I think
Husker's
it's like
never excited about that.
Yeah. Snip my strings? Yeah, like I guess they could have switched it around a little bit. Like they could have done. Well, they shouldn't rhyme strings with strings, but like. They could have done something. I'll just so we can get through to the end of the stream, and I have an example. I will look up strings on Rhyme Zone and quickly think of
Bings.
Not Bings. What?
Yeah, like instead of to Google, you can Bing.
Oh. Yeah, I guess strings doesn't have a lot going on. We got brings, wings, kings.
Yeah.
Springs.
Yeah.
I guess. Like you would have to do a lot more than I'm thinking of. But you could rewrite it in a way so it is,
rings, things, yeah, heartstrings, water wings.
Yeah, like I guess what I'm thinking.
I want to see the 4 syllable really like.
What you could have done.
Everything's.
Is that it's. Oh my god, I just forgot what I was gonna say, Hunter, because you were trying to find the... Yeah,
Colorado Springs.
No. Everything's anything, that's
Wait,
not
what's... It's 8 syllables, is the Bureau of Magical Things, or I'm thinking of ending things. That's just a sentence. That's not even a word anymore.
Oh, what I was gonna say is that if you want to do springs... You could instead do spring, as in spring, like spring free from something.
If you said fringe?
Fringe?
No.
Hunter.
Frings.
No.
Frings.
That sounds like a chip brand. Yeah, I don't know if anything rhymes with strings in a way that I could, like, fix this. At least not right now. Because there is like kings. See, like kings work if Alistair wants to be king. Like,
Roach King.
Which we think that he wants to. You know what I mean? Like, so they could have done something like that, maybe. Wait, well, what was the other? It was wings, right? So maybe more things rhyme with wings compared to strings. And so if we're gonna keep something about the wings, no. Colorado Springs, you guys are talking about that. So yeah, maybe strings is just not the best word in general. I mean, they could have said brings, like what the few, like, you know, good fortune bring, like something like that, like a reference to something Alistair did brought good fortune onto him. So like, let's see what this brings. They could have done something like that. Guess who will be pulling all the strings? But yeah, Colorado Springs is terrible. I know, like these are not good. These are not good. We'll have to figure it out another time.
Bureau of Medical Things seems
Bureau of Medical Things. I guess.
Because that's unspecific, right? Medical thing could be anything. That's everything from cat stands
There's
to,
also
like,
stings that they could, like...
I don't know.
Like,
stings?
something about the fact that he's not free is what stings.
It stings, yeah.
Like, it stings. And then they could have done strings, but, like, you would have to majorly rework the syllable
count
to
Angel dropped one of
this.
his cock rings.
Oh my god. But yeah, I like this ending. I thought this was great. I will think about how to rewrite the song more later, but like, yeah, this is actually kind of difficult. Strings is not a nice word to find rhymes for.
I love how in this shot you can see where Alistair lives, where it's all warped and creepy.
And I like everybody's incorporated, right? Like this is Angel Dust, this is Husk to me, right? You just have the apple, like everybody is
Where's
sort
Nifty?
Incorporated in the building?
Yeah.
I mean the giant eye, you could say.
I guess so, yeah.
I guess so.
Also, there's the...
But, Tish.
There's the eye list, there's the
Sorry, guys, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours. We're losing our life right now. I thought that this post-credit scene was great. I just want to say that I totally called this, and nobody believed me whatsoever when I was like, Pentis isn't bad, Pentis is gonna go to heaven.
We talked about that.
We did, but nobody, like, everyone booed. That's not exactly what happened, but like
everyone booed and
people
threw
were like,
eggs at me, but look at me now.
Yeah, exactly. I think I would love to have like to see more closely if Pentas's design had changed, like if those hearts were something else. But I can't go back that far. I'm tired. So we'll just say that maybe it did. It's possible that it did.
But it's very cute because Emily's so excited, and it looks like the other seraph is not enthusiastic.
Pins and strings don't rhyme, you guys. But I appreciate the effort. But I do appreciate the thought. We're getting somewhere. Like, we're definitely getting closer to something, I think. Because, like, Pins does have that sort of, like, the voodoo situation, right?
I just love how horrified the
But yeah, I love that. I love how, like, because she knows that this means, like,
Emily's
they
like,
can no longer deny anything. Like, and Emily know, like, oh, you were the person at Charlie's hotel. Like, they saw him in the flashback. They know he's from here. I feel like that, I don't think that...
Ka-chings. That's hilarious. Ka-chings.
I don't think that, the bar is in hell for that. Yeah, I know. There's so much. I'm upset there wasn't a rap number. Like, I mean, Respectless is kind of rapping, right?
Yeah, there's the Vox. Was that Respectless?
No!
Vox
No. That was Stayed Gone.
Yeah.
There's no rapping in Stayed Gone. Top of the hour, we're discussing a certain has-been who has been spotted at the... That's not rap, Hunter.
I don't know what rap is.
No, I don't think so.
In my memory, it was a little like... Because you kept saying it was like, this was Lin-Manuel Miranda shit.
Well, no, I meant the rhyming.
Okay.
Like...
I guess in my head, I'm like, oh, this is what passes
We're dressing the penguins, we are blowing up the pigeons, or whatever.
Well, there's parts in it in my memory. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway,
I don't know shit about shit.
I do wonder, like, I think that Lute is gonna be the main antagonist. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where they're going. I don't think Sarah will be, because ultimately, like, Sarah wants to keep a certain order, but I feel like that, like, she knows that she's gonna be in deep shit for killing people that were redeemable this whole time.
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't know, I can't see Sarah being the antagonist. I think that it's gonna be Lute. I think Sarah's gonna be like, well, these are the rules. Like, we have to adhere to the rules now. You know? Oh, yeah, you're right. But I just mean that, like, some people think Sarah is gonna, like, totally go off the deep end or whatever. I think that it's gonna be more like Sarah is gonna be like, well, like, clearly this is what God wants, so now we have to deal with it. And Lute is like, are you fucking kidding me? They killed Adam. Like, how can you just let them get away with this? And so Sarah's the one that's like, well, we have to follow the rules. You know, like, this is clearly how things want, you know.
New rules about who can get into heaven.
There's clearly new rules, so we're going to, you know, do the rules. Yeah, she's a fearful leader, but not a bad person. I think that Lute is gonna be like, well, what do you mean? They killed Adam. We're not gonna do anything about that. So Lute is gonna be the one I think goes rogue. I think that she is ultimately, like, she's gonna take it hard, the fact that, like, she didn't trust Charlie and, like, that they've killed a bunch of people that were redeemable, but I don't think that she's gonna be evil. What interests me, though, is, like, this whole scene, because I have changed my mind since, like, our analysis, because we had two different theories, and one was more complicated, and it was just because, like, there's a very vague interpretation, and then there's the one that I think is correct, and it's the one that Hunter had. Adam is dead. Your deal with Adam is done.
Because
not your
void.
Deal with me,
yeah.
but your deal with Adam, because he's dead, which means it's void.
Any agreement you had with him is kind of null and void.
Yeah, because I thought
because
the deal
in charge.
we had to kill Adam, I did my part, now you do yours. But in hindsight, like, now that I've been looking back at everything, and just how emotional she gets over Adam dying, I don't think that she was in cahoots with Lilith to kill Adam. I think that Adam genuinely...
Mostly because, like, Adam was whacked by Lucifer. Or by Nifty. You know?
Yeah, like... but, like, even still, like, I think that you could still make that argument, but I don't think you can anymore.
I think the idea is that, like, because Lute's in charge,
Adam and Lilith had a deal.
That, like, they're gonna be doing things differently, which is, like, escalation with war with hell.
And it's weird, though, because, like, why would Adam let Lilith in here?
Why would Adam? I mean, Adam got let in. I don't know.
Like, no, but they have exes.
Yeah, Lilith
on,
must
right?
have made some kind of deal
with Adam.
Lilith Like, she must be giving them something, which is why she's able to stay in heaven.
Yeah, and I wonder,
and now
like,
the nature of the deal is being renegotiated, it would seem.
Yeah. If you want to stay here, you're going down there and stopping that bad word. You understand me, Lilith, right? And so it's like,
music.
Is this Lilith?
Also,
is the other question.
Also,
we don't know.
Look at her hair. Look at how unbothered she looked. Look at her big floppy hat.
Thriving. Yeah,
She's
I know.
Thriving.
Like, okay, some people think that this is Eve pretending to be Lilith.
No.
I don't think that they're the same person, but I do wonder if they could be twins. I talked about this, like, before in the live stream. I don't know if you guys heard me or not, but I'm the only one who has said this. I think that Adam making Eve look the same as Lilith would make a lot of sense, because it's just a copy of his first wife, you know what I mean? And so if, like, Eve was born from Adam, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it would make, but also, like, God made Eve, not Adam.
What do you mean? They say it was born from Adam's rib or whatever, like,
well,
from
yeah,
Adam came Eve.
But God took Adam's rib, or a portion.
But, like, in this show, they sort of simplify it, right?
Like,
we never hear about God.
It's not like Adam was, like, in the Sims creator, like, okay,
that's how I imagine it. That's how I imagine Adam had an idea inside of his head, right? Because we know he also makes The Exorcist, and I'm assuming he makes them in an image that he finds attractive to some extent, because he's like, oh, I named you after the best thing of all, like the Vussy, right? And so I just
Vussy sounds like the name of like
a European car.
Oh yeah, my mom drives a Vussy, a boxy Eastern European vehicle. Not much fun, like a Lada. Oh my goodness.
I hope this particular character is Lilith having a vacation in heaven, but, like, it's only been 7 years.
I think this
and The
isn't
Exorcist
even
has been going longer for, like, than that. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it yet.
I think this isn't even necessarily, like, vacation for her. This is just, like, this is every day she is in a bikini and her floppy hat staring at the ocean.
Maybe.
Trying to forget about her husband. Both of her husbands. It'd be funny if she's gay. I hope they.
My theory is that Pentis somehow ascended to the Seraphim, and they probably just redeemed them. I mean, I just think that, like, oh wait, you think that Pentis is now a Seraphim? That'd be kind of crazy, because we've never heard Pentis sing at all in the show, so we have no idea. Like, can Pentis? No, I guess we got, like, how could you accept a dirtbag like me? Like that, he has that little thing.
Yeah, he has the song where it's like
the one I just
say hello. Yeah.
No,
say sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, like, that's kind of funny, guys. Like, that's kind of funny. Like, the idea that it's not just that he's ascended, that he is now in charge of something somehow. Like, that would be kind of
I would love to see
I would
girl
have to research the
run.
Seraphim a little more, because I don't know anything about, like, I don't know.
Anyways.
Well, why is Seraphim? I think it's because he's in front of them, right? Like, he didn't go to Peter. Like, he didn't appear at the door.
I mean,
I
think they thought it would be. I mean, really, I think they did that because they thought it would be funnier to get the reaction out of both Emily and Sarah.
But they could have been there at the door accepting other people at the same time. Like, lots of people die every minute. So it's kind of weird that Pentis, like, was beamed directly
I really
up.
hope he becomes like
That's
a Seraphim.
So
That's
funny.
very funny.
Yeah, because, like, isn't that the whole thing with Peter? Is that Charlie and Vaggie are at the gates of heaven, and Peter is the one who checks, like, the twink, right? And he's the one who checks their names, right?
You gotta check
so,
your
like,
twink.
it's either that Pentis is, like, a Seraphim or something, or, like, that God beamed Pentis up to them directly as a fuck you, Sarah, and I think that's hilarious. That's a theory that I've seen right now, is that it's not just, like, you know, a technical thing of wanting to see their reactions, but it's that, like, God personally was like, I'm showing you this thing because you did not do my will, and that's why Sarah's, like, shitting herself. I think that that's funny. I do think that makes more sense than him being a Seraphim, though, because, like, you guys are saying, like, Seraphim are, like, angel-made, like, not usually, like, demon... like, or not even human souls are Seraphim, right? So I think it's funny.
Okay, so I guess, one, how do you feel about this episode generally?
I think that this episode is one of the best in the whole show.
Absolutely.
Pace the best in the whole show. Probably has the best songs in the whole show, even though one of them's a reprise.
Okay, which do you think is better? This season of this show or the first 2 seasons of Hell of a Boss?
Honestly, the reason why that's hard for me
they're very different
I
shows.
don't remember anything. I can't remember anything that happened in Hell of a Boss right now. Like, if you asked me what season 2 and season 1 were about separately, like, I remember, like, the Fizzaroli and the Lust song with the genie from Aladdin, and I know that Stolas and, like, there was backstory scene and all of that stuff with, like, Solus and Blizz and how they met at some point, and then Stryker. But if you asked me, like, what happened in each episode of Hell of a Boss, I can't tell you, honestly. Like, before the next episode of Hell of a Boss comes out, I need to rewatch it, because every time we watch it, I can't remember shit.
I think I like them both, but I think I might pick Hell of a Boss. But looking back on it, maybe Hazbin. I don't know. It's hard to pick.
I just think that...
I mean, both are excellent.
It's recency bias, for one. I guess I think it might be Hell of a Boss. I like the characters in this show more. Because it's not that I don't like Blizz, but the point is that, like, I don't know. To watch Hell of a Boss and enjoy yourself, you kind of have to have the same mentality as when you're watching Breaking Bad, in the sense of, like... The bald man whose name escapes me, like, is a bad person. Like, he's not a nice guy.
Not a nice guy.
So, like, you know, you kind of have to be in the mood, right?
Sure.
And so, like, I'm not always in a Hell of a Boss mood in terms of Blizz. Like, in terms of how, like, sometimes he's a major asshole, and that just, like, this is the protagonist that we're supposed to be following. It's not that a character can't have flaws.
I will say that the central joke and the central premise of Hazbin Hotel is, I think, more compelling than Hell of a Boss. Even though, I don't know, maybe Hell of a Boss had higher highs for me. That might be it. I feel like on a whole, perhaps Hazbin Hotel is better, but maybe Hell of a Boss had higher highs. That might be it for me.
And it's just like, I guess my problem is, my hot take is that, like, everyone in Hell of a Boss is slightly insufferable, just a little bit, in terms of the main characters that we follow. Like, Blizz has a lot of insufferable moments. Moxie has this whole thing where he's mad that people like Millie more than him, and in a whole episode,
Millie's a sweetheart.
He acts like a teenage boy that's jealous in high school, which I guess is the point, right? Millie's fine. Nothing bothers me about Millie.
Millie's
but, like,
great.
Moxie, like, they did a little character assassination for Moxie just to have, like, Millie development. Like, Moxie is, I don't know, suddenly sexist, I guess. A little bit, like, sometimes, even though he seems very open-minded and not like that at all. Luna's fine, it's just that she doesn't get a lot of attention either. I like Stolas. I think Stolas is my favorite character. And Asmodeus and Fizz are also my favorite characters. But yeah, I think that's just the problem, is that you need to be in a certain mood for Hell of a Boss, where, like, you know, getting into it, that this is a protagonist that has major flaws, and you'll probably just want to shake them and possibly strangle them a little bit. But I don't feel that way about Hazbin. Like, I've never been like, I hate you. You know, like, Angel Dust, you're so annoying, or something like that. Whereas sometimes, not all the time, like, I still like Hell of a Boss. Obviously, we react to it and have a good time. I don't want people to think we don't like it, but,
different shows,
certainly. Sometimes.
It's almost not fair to ask people to compare these fairly different
like,
shows.
sometimes I'm like, guys, really, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I don't know.
I think that's the kind of the benefit of Hazbin Hotel, is that Charlie is such a, like, abundantly likable character.
Likable. That's the word I'm trying to find. Yeah, like, sometimes sometimes Hell of a Boss characters aren't likable, but even in Hazbin, when people have flaws, in my opinion, it's still likable. So I guess, like, it's getting kind of late over here. I think we streamed longer than Hunter intended. She usually is in bed and has dinner by this time, so I think...
I'm not in bed. I am having had dinner and possibly in pajamas.
Exactly.
That is where I'm...
We're just gonna wrap it up, I think. Thank you guys all for watching, though. We're not leaving yet, though. We should probably talk about just, like, Season 2 pitch, like, very quickly.
I mean, I feel like we've talked about that a bit, but I feel like we're going to have Lilith be a bigger role. Yeah. I think that we're finally going to figure out the nature of Alistair's, like, deal. I still think it's with Lilith. I do believe that.
How many seasons do you think the show is gonna get?
Well, it's down for 2. I honestly couldn't see it getting more than 2. 2 or 3, you know?
I mean, you mean 2 more than we already have?
Well, because it's confirmed for 2 for a second season.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, I could see us going to
surprised.
season 3 and not further, but I don't think season 2 is enough. Not at the rate of the episodes
I feel like
have.
the way they tend to do animated series, it's kind of like the She-Ra series or Kipo or a lot of those ones where it's like you got 3 seasons and then you're out. That's the budget.
But I think that 2 is too short. Like season 1, season 2, that's not enough.
I think you could probably tell a really compelling. You also don't want it to end up like Naruto going.
No, of course not. I want it to be 3 or 4 because I think that's how long the Tangled series was, and Tangled series had like 23 episodes per season, which was a little, I don't know. So I think that they should at least have, if they're at the current rate that they are now, we at least need 3 seasons. Like if it's only going to be 8 episodes. If we get to like 16, maybe I would negotiate a little bit more on whether or not I feel the need, but like at least 3, I feel like.
I heard a thing that the reason why a lot of shows on Netflix never get a 3rd season is because after the 2nd season you renegotiate your
pay or whatever.
So that's why.
I mean, but this is Amazon, so it might be a little different.
I don't know.
Like I don't know if it's that different.
I think they're all kind of shifty and shitty.
But Tangled did get a lot of seasons, so like you know what I mean. I mean
that
it's
was
the
also
norm for 3
that was
and
also
4.
broadcast television.
I guess maybe at the time, yeah. But lots of stuff is streaming now. Like the world has changed. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the nature of the
world
beast.
is just changing.
But like streaming stuff. Well, that's why Netflix, because it's all streaming. That's why you had so many shows, Netflix shows, that never got a 3rd season.
But Amazon, like what they also did for this, which was specific to Hazbin Hotel, is they did like you could pay money to watch the first 2 episodes early, and like there were bundles of merch and stuff. So I feel like that like Amazon knows that like the cash, if they work hard enough, that the cash is gonna come in. But yeah, I think that you guys are right, like in terms of Angel Dust and Valentino, still there's some stuff that needs to be wrapped up. Vaggie and, you know, being an angel a little bit.
We're probably gonna get some new characters that aren't like new Serpentious.
Yeah, like some new people staying at the hotel.
A bit, which I think would be fun.
I think that it's gonna be like, the exterminations are gonna stop temporarily as Sarah tries to figure out what's going on, because they can't justify the exterminations anymore if demons are redeemable. And I did have the theory that that's what Lilith wanted all along, and really what she wanted was the exterminations to stop but the hotel to fail, because ultimately she still wants to rule over hell, and people ascending to heaven would be bad business for them. So
Indeed.
I still have that theory, and that Alistair's job has been to make sure that Charlie succeeds but not too much. So I do have a theory about Alistair asking Charlie to, like, not abdicate, but maybe for Lucifer to abdicate or whatever, so, like, Alistair's king of hell. I can see that being Alistair's endgame. For some reason, I have, like, something that Alistair wants to be alive again in, like, the real world, and I don't know why exactly, but just there's something about that. But I think Lute is gonna be, like, what do you mean you're stopping the exterminations? They killed Adam. Like, she's gonna be on full revenge quest for, like, the entire season, and she's gonna be the bad guy versus Sarah. I think that Sarah's gonna kind of be the reasonable one, and that Lute is going to be very angry about that, so it's gonna be Lute, Lilith, and Alistair, question mark, and then the Vees, question mark.
Yes.
But yeah,
I
do wonder if they're also setting up like Velvet feels ignored, but I don't know how much they're doing out of that.
The Vees were kind of non-prominent. So I think they were kind of setting them up for them to be payoff later on.
They just seem like Team Rocket, you know? Like,
yeah.
To me, I don't even
like
know.
Team
Like,
Rocket.
Hunter is taking a very optimistic point of view here, where you're like, they're setting the Vees up to do big things in season 2. I kind of don't feel that way. I think that they're like the Team Rocket of the show, and they're always going to be kind of.
You know what? I would be okay if they were the Team Rocket.
And I would be too if they spent time on them properly. Because again, that Velvet thing really annoys me.
I mean, you might have Angel Dust breaking away from.
Oh yeah, I think for sure. Because if Alistair's looking for a backdoor out of his contract, it stands to reason that whatever backdoor Alistair finds could also be applied to angel dust. But I just got like, I don't know if you guys saw it, I just got like a shot of like a migraine. You know when you feel that you're starting to get a headache and you feel like that you've been shot for a second? So I think that we're gonna head out. I appreciate you guys all watching. I'm sorry if we didn't get to all of your comments. It's kind of similar to the week that we had to run away. Clearly, I think you guys just want us to come on and, like, shoot the shit sometimes. That's kind of the impression that I got the other week, so I think that, like, you know,
we could just
it's been hard to figure out what to do.
You could have heard us complaining about Moana.
Probably, yeah.
You could have heard that.
But, you know, what was I gonna say? Because Hazbin is done now, I am trying to figure out, like, what are Hunter and I doing? Like, what are we here for? Because, like, you know, we have our things that we usually do and whatever, but, like, it is kind of a weird situation right now, because it's not that I don't want to do reactions anymore, but, like, you know, I started a couple reactions for a couple different things, and they did well, but it wasn't, like, insane or anything. It wasn't Hazbin, right? So, you know, we have to find our next thing to do, and I need to think about that and whatever. But it seems like that you guys just want us to hang out some more, so we'll definitely do that.
Video games, too. We can play something.
Stream some games and talk, of course. But, yes, we will definitely do some more theories. But, yeah, like I said, I'm like... the migraine is coming. So we will see you guys later. Thank you guys all for watching, and thank you guys all for the super chats too, because if the stream gets demonetized, even though we've been here for 3 hours, at least we have super chat money, and